All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Saturnalia stream. I know this is this might be a bit awkward because I was planning on getting back after our summer hiatus around late August, early September. That never ended up happening because I was too busy. And then I figured, okay, let's just start off with the Hallow stream in late October / early November. That didn't go as planned. So now here we are, almost 5 months since my last stream. Starting off strong, I guess. I think we'll probably have the season premiere of the Pig Pen maybe sometime after Christmas. But yeah, no, this is the second annual Saturnalia stream. We have two returning guests, Ray Marisami and Grayson. How are you guys doing this fine evening?
Good. I'm pissed that Hallow stream never happened because I came prepared for that one, and then we never had it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll probably end up having it we'll probably have it late sometime after Christmas.
Yeah. In contrast, I'm pretty good. I'm just, trying to balance, the difference between, the blood content in my alcohol stream, just making sure that we've got this 50-50 balance going on. So,
Oh, fair enough.
yeah, pretty good coming into Saturnalia.
I need to pour myself some eggnog here in a couple minutes. So, anyway, okay, so we also have Ver Rusticum.
Rusticum, but you can just call me Ver as in very.
Okay, and then we have Boy George.
Yes, you do.
How are you doing, Boy George?
I'm doing quite cozy. Enjoying the Yule.
And then Darth Kilhoun, how are you doing? It's my Star Wars buddy.
Perfectly fine, and God bless everybody on this wonderful before Christmas Eve.
Yes, it is Christmas Eve. All right, so let's see. How should we start this? Should we start with the? You know what we haven't done in a while, guys? Hold on. We have not done this in a while.
Gay butt sex.
No. This is a wholesome family stream. Don't talk about that.
Who invited the Jesuits?
we haven't. Yeah. Hold on. I think this is kind of obligatory at this point. I think this is kind of obligatory at this. Hold on. Off to a really great start. I know. Oh, hold on. I need to. Okay. Anyway, technical difficulties. Let's keep talking. What are everybody's plans for the holidays so far? As much as you want to.
I hope to get over whatever the illness I have right now.
Well, pray to Saint Raphael then.
Get a phone which doesn't make loud noises like that. I'm just kidding. Making cookies probably and binging Christmas movies.
Are you gonna watch Year Without a Santa Claus?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Honestly, does anyone here remember Home Alone? Both movies.
You mean all 5 of them?
Oh my
There's
god!
more than 5.
Remind me. The third movie was not particularly horrible, but it wasn't great either. And the fourth one was terrible. Not sure about the fifth one that came out apparently very recently.
Well, what are you talking about? You didn't like the plot where they used North Korean terrorists to, and I don't know.
Guys, spread some Christmas cheer.
No, let's talk about Christmas movies, Politicrat.
We'll talk about that in a second, but we need to catch up with our friend Dave Rubin.
No,
we don't.
No.
We do not.
This grifter. We don't need a grifter like him or Tim Pool.
I already have.
Okay, I actually kind of like Tim Pool.
I already have a deranged grifter going after me. I don't need another one.
Who's going after you?
You know who it's the same guy who's always going after me.
Wait, Kevin's still going after you?
Yeah.
Does he never give up?
No. Except now he
never give up.
Except now he's going after every person on ET Twitter. So it's like.
Wait, I feel like Kevin Cassidy, even though he's an anti-theist, I feel like he also loves Christmas.
I mean, listen, you can celebrate Christmas but not believe in the miracle of it.
I know.
Yeah,
Wait,
but then
actually,
how do you
Khalid, what would you have to say about that? Can you actually ever truly appreciate Christmas if you don't actually believe in it?
Yeah, you can't. You're just a materialist, and you have nothing in your soul if you don't.
Yeah, and plus, how do you explain the Charlie Brown Christmas?
We were just talking about this, actually. This is going to be one of the topics for later this evening. We're going to be talking about the commodification and materialization of Christmas.
Oh God.
I thought you wanted to talk about that.
No, I don't see how that's like a big deal.
Let's talk about why Santa denials are retarded.
Why Santa deniers are retarded?
Yeah.
Why are Santa deniers retarded, Grayson?
Because think about it. How do they explain the presents just appearing there?
What?
Explain.
Maybe? I mean, I've heard a rumor that the parents do it.
Oh, don't you're going through this mental gymnastics of like trying to explain. It's magic. That's how it happens. People, it's not that difficult to understand. Santa is magic. He gives you presents. And your parents don't do that because my parents don't like me.
Do they not like you?
No, I'm just kidding, but it'd be funny if they did.
And remember, in the Christmas spirit, you must also pay for a prostitute's freedom from slavery. That's actually what St. Nicholas did.
Yeah, he was the patron saint of whores, right?
Yeah, he'd purposely like just gather money and pay for them to be released from their servitude.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, anyway, remember the Grifter special we had last year?
No.
Yes. Well, actually, no, because I didn't follow the last. I didn't follow the first Saturnalia. So, wait, what is Dave Rubin up to? What did you want to show us?
No, I was just saying his war on Christmas stuff.
No,
Oh,
let's
no,
we
you've
should
got
watch
to
it
do
because
that.
that's a
You've got to do
topic
that.
we
We've
were
got
going
to
to
see that.
discuss.
This was,
Hold
in
on.
fact, one of the topics. Do it.
Hold on.
Star Sidious would say, "Do it."
Do it.
Hold on. This is
Cole, he's my miracle child. So how does your miracle
okay. So I don't like Sam Cedar, but we're gonna have to watch the clip from him.
Imagine not having ad block. Can't be me.
I don't have ad block.
Peasant.
I'm just not logged in on my. Okay, so we're gonna be watching. So Dave Rubin and Tucker Carlson freak out. on the
Dark
war on
mode,
Christmas.
please.
What?
Dark mode. YouTube has a dark mode. It needs to be in it.
I know.
Otherwise, it's
Okay,
gonna look
cool.
weird on your stream.
Okay, good. So
When are
Right,
things
before.
never weird on Playcraft stream?
okay,
though?
let's watch.
Oh, that can work too.
I get paid for these appearances, but I'm going to mail you a check.
There's a bad echo.
Okay,
Pull a crap. Mute yourself.
There's an echo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, coming from you,
You're
ironically.
echoing.
Yeah, you should mute
Okay.
yourself while playing the video.
All right. Yeah, we'll do.
yeah, you got it, my friend. Listen, these puff piece of Huffington Post. I mean, look, these pieces that these authors, whatever they are, journalists that they write, these are not
Why is
pieces
the
of
camera
journalism.
moving?
It's so much
Pause
easier
it for 1
to
second. What was going on? Was the cameraman messing with Dave Rubin there?
Poe. I mean, look, these pieces that these authors, whatever they are, journalists that they write, these are not pieces of journalism. It's so much easier to destroy and than to create. If you're watching Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and think it's about racism and misogyny and the patriarchy and the rest of it, well, you can find that stuff everywhere. If you look back at anything, and that's what people really need to understand when these pieces come out, and then you start looking at something that you used to love or that used to have a wonderful message about the holiday and giving and being accepted and all of those things, that they're trying to take that away from you. And it's not like they stop with one thing, right? They find something, they kind of destroy that, and they'll move on to everything else that we love. So, eventually they'll move on to sitcoms that we love, whether it's Seinfeld for, doing something they've
Even
done,
Tucker can't
or
believe he's
Friends,
hearing
or
this.
whatever else it is. They'll go for cartoons. They've gone for Bugs Bunny. I mean, they
I
will
love
literally
Tucker
go
Carlson's
for a
facial
sunset. But
expressions.
think of whoever's watching this right now. Think of something
What are
you
we
love
talking
that
about
brings
right now
you
is what
a sense of peace and decency, and they will somehow link it to the patriarchy and the rest of their politically correct nonsense. And we just need to realize that, as I said earlier, it's easier to destroy than create.
Well,
and
that's
that's
the
what they're just
smartest. So
going
let
to
me
keep
just can I
doing.
just
And I think
pause
what
right
we
there?
have to do
Now
is
pause it for 1 second. All right. So what they're talking about
Paul's
is
Inception.
HuffPost ran a piece. People
No, I mean, it's Paul's Inception, right? Because Tucker is asking him to pause, and at the same time, Sam Cedar is asking for the video to be paused, and we have paused. How many levels of pausing
Exactly.
is that?
But also I gotta say, I love Tucker Carlson's facial expressions. I just love it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Only Dave Rubin can cause this kind of effect. Like across 3 different ideological planes, we're all demanding that this video be paused at this moment.
He's secretly a god in waiting.
I mean,
But yeah,
Tucker
no,
Carlson is
it's-
like, we've got to pause here right now, and Sam's just like, God, we've got to pause, and we're like, we've also got to pause.
I feel like a lot of this stuff, this outright, like, I feel like a lot of it's just manufactured. It's. I mean, they purposely want to.
Say.
No. I know, but like they want to be outraged, so they'll purposefully find something like a non-issue. And you know what? I'm actually just like speaking what's obvious now. Like, I mean, I think we all know what they do, especially the right.
Yeah, but isn't this old news? Like I thought, but like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer controversy was like last year or like 2 years ago.
Was it? I just googled. Wait, no. It makes sense that Dave Rubin would talk about it again, though.
Yeah.
It would,
It-
but I don't
Also,
think it's a
you would
big deal
think-
because it still plays on TV, as far as I'm
Also, you
aware.
would think that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer would have been, quote, controversial at the time it was made, given that it was inherently woke from the start. Like, what are we talking about?
It was pretty woke.
Rudolph is an edgy outsider whose nose turns red. Okay, and everyone else was mean to him. This shows the value of acceptance because his red nose is actually preferred by Santa because it can light the way. Therefore, don't ever discriminate against people ever. So say Santa. I mean, that's literally the moral of the story, right? How is this
Yeah,
not
but
a
to be
woke
fair,
story
Well,
from
no,
the
I
start?
think the problem was like, again, this was like a few years ago, so forgive me if I'm misremembering anything. But I think the problem was that yes, it has that moral, but like the Huffington Post article, maybe we should look over that article, Politico. You should find
they're
it.
saying that even within that, there are elements that they would
They're
like to
so
critique.
bad that we shouldn't show it on television anymore. We should
and
erase
then-
it from history.
And then I guess that that Dave Rubin went and dug up this article from whatever grave it was in and was like, now we need to inflate this and have a national level conversation about the fact that one Huffington Post article had an issue with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which then transmogrified into a war on Christmas.
I think the chronology is messed up here because, to my understanding, the Huffington Post article and subsequently a bunch of people who agree with that article began petitioning like television studios to not air that program
Oh,
again
to not
because it
actually
was
air it.
offensive.
Huh.
And to be fair though, people like to think like the early 2000s or the 1990s people weren't overly sensitive like they are today. No, there were times where entire television shows were canceled because it offended some evangelical Christians. So it swings
Actually,
both ways,
yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, but that's base
That's
censorship.
I mean that was
not
back
cringe
like in the
censorship like we have
that
today.
was like back in the 90s and early 2000s though. It's like, do the evangelical Protestants really have that power anymore?
No, it doesn't. But it's swing the other direction.
Well, yeah, that's because the evangelical Protestants just came out as ridiculous. So obviously
haven't they
the
always
left
been-
used as ammunition.
Actually,
always been
so
cool.
maybe they don't have cultural cachet, but evangelicals are a prominent bloc in the Republican Party. Like if we're talking about like actual like influence in politics and not just like
Yeah, but do the Republicans actually have influence, like culturally speaking, in the last 20 years?
Hardly.
well, yeah, of course not.
Yes, exactly. So the evangelical Protestants have just diminished their power by going with the party that doesn't want to exert social power.
To be fair, I mean, you could
I mean,
go
it
back
seems,
to like
it seems like a quick
2008.
fix, though. You just have to
You
use
could go back to
government.
2008 though, where you had like moms against drunk driving, protesting the release of Grand Theft Auto 4. Like you have cases like that as well. And a lot of people would say 2008 was people weren't overly sensitive back in 2008. No, they most definitely were. It's just I guess you can argue
it just wasn't the left.
Well, what did they
Yeah,
observe
that-
this time anyway? Because it says here at the bottom some of these humorous observations. I can't imagine what these could have been.
Okay, let's look over the article.
Yeah,
Okay.
and how it differs from any other animated feature that could have happened.
All right. So Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer aired Tuesday night on CBS, and Twitter users gathered around the digital fireplace to share a moment. You know it was. Some people joke they noticed a few things in the Christmas classic they didn't always spot or simply ignored when they saw it years ago. Is this the right one?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe hold
Every
on.
year the elf throws the bird out of the sleigh without an umbrella, even though earlier this bird said it can't fly. Okay.
Trivia
Yukon
fact:
Cornelius
Yukon
was the
Cornelius
first
was the
hipster? I'm willing to believe that.
Okay, now I'm going to say what we're all thinking. This scene where Rudolph's nose is revealed. Santa, yes, Santa is a bit of a dick.
Really? What did he say?
No, he's like, you should be ashamed of yourself, Rudolph, for this innate characteristic that you have.
Oh,
he
right,
said
yeah.
that.
Okay.
One of the
Sweet
great
dolly.
mysteries of modern times. What is wrong with the dolly on the island of
Misfit
Misfit?
toys, why is she
Why
a
is
misfit?
she-
I think maybe back then people were like prejudiced against people who had red hair or something.
Maybe.
Or-
I mean, but they had Raggedy Ann since like 1905.
I guess.
Okay, wait, Polycarp. The name of the article is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is seriously problematic. I think that's the name of the article.
Oh no.
It's
Oh, that probably
problematic.
sounds like the article we're looking for then, because these ones
That's
so
so
far
classic.
are just funny and not.
Yeah.
Okay. Send that article through.
Hold on. Let me make sure it wasn't like taken down, because sometimes after backlash, even they will like put an article. Companies
it's
like the
there.
New York Times are still prone to self-censorship if there's enough backlash.
Here's an article from the Post.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it. Don't
Look,
worry.
it's our friends. It's our friends. It's
Oh my
Tucker and
gosh.
Dave.
And Dave Rubin looks like he's about to talk about aliens.
He does. Honestly, would you be surprised if Dave Rubin ever turned out like just went down in Alex Jones' direction?
Wouldn't surprise me in the
No,
least.
no, he needs to start being the host of Ancient Aliens.
No,
Yeah.
leftist aliens.
Leftist aliens.
Leftist
left are
aliens
actually
actually went
aliens.
back in time to plant the principles of Hammurabi, which were considered woke at the time.
It was
But that's kind of
aliens.
funny way to put it.
who-
Hammurabi was pretty woke for his day.
It was aliens who overthrew the Bourbons.
Oh no!
I mean,
Don't you
Hammurabi
talk
was
about
considered a bit of like a
that.
revolutionary for his day. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, but I
Hammurabi
mean, can
really.
you imagine? No, but can you imagine the optics of Dave Rubin having to complain about it?
complaining about how Hammurabi he's trying to change Babylon. No, he's leftist. Okay, so HuffPost dubs Rudolph public enemy number one. So as is tradition, when Christmas time nears, the 1964 classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer returned to American television screens. But this time around, the once heralded stop-motion film has made the news for all the wrong reasons. Viewers may recall its simple plot. The reindeer is mocked and cast away by the majority of his peers when they discover his glowing red nose. Even though Rudolph ultimately returns to save the day, using his glimmering snout to guide Santa during the poor weather, there's no denying the verbal attacks that Rudolph endures early on. Hey, fire snout, one reindeer says, mocking him. Another one teases him, rainbow puss. What?
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 Dang.
What?
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 What? That's a real. Is that real? Rain.
What?
God.
Calling me names, Rudolph cries. But was the red-nosed reindeer marginalized? That's the premise of this Huffington Post video posted Wednesday to Twitter. Oh,
It hit
God.
more than 5.3. You can actually watch it then, it would seem.
We can watch it, yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be incredible, I'm sure.
I kind of want to know what rainbow Puss is now.
Oh, it was removed.
Oh no.
Wait a minute. Okay.
No.
Well, here's the thing. There's this thing called the Wayback Machine. So just copy that link.
Or it's
and
probably
put it in the
archived
Wayback
somewhere
Machine.
else. There's probably someone else who reproduced the same tweet and kept the video.
Somebody
Yeah, but
probably
I'm gonna
mirrored
go
it.
through the Wayback Machine.
Okay, you do that. We'll keep talking about Rudolph, about how it's seriously problematic.
It's not
No,
problematic enough.
But the father of Rudolph's love interest is called a bigot for forbidding his daughter from being seen with the red-nosed one. The video includes various reactions to the film on Twitter, saying yearly reminder that Rudolph is a parable on racism and homophobia, with Santa as a bigoted, exploitive. The rest is not family.
Homophobia.
I mean, honestly, I don't disagree
Okay,
with that
I found it.
necessarily. That is the message of the movie, isn't it?
I'm gonna post it in the private chat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where that was intentional, clearly.
Look, Donald Trump Jr.
Oh, Donald Trump Jr. has an opinion.
Liberalism is a disease.
I mean, he's
Little
right,
does-
but for the
Screw
wrong
you,
reason.
John Locke.
Little does Trump know that he himself is a liberal.
In your mind, in your leftist mind,
All American politicians are liberal, according to the reactionary here.
and according to the socialist here, which is Ray,
Proof
Yeah.
of horseshoe theory.
it's funny. You guys loop back around, and you basically agree on the same on a lot of the same issues.
We agree American politics is cringe because it's all liberal.
Yep.
Okay, Politicrat, I
No
posted
one of you is free of liberalism.
the archived tweet in the private chat. Let's see if that
Archive tweet in the private chat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how. Is it gonna work? Let's see. I love how the Huffington Post their description on their Twitter page is "Know what's real."
Well, I mean, to be fair, we've got the Washington Post up that has "Democracy dies in darkness." Still displayed.
Washington Post headquarters is sort of near my apartment. Okay. Come
Does it
on.
not load?
I don't think it's working.
Okay,
Did
but
you get
at
it
least
to
we know
load?
the article.
By
It seems
Rusty?
the article is called "Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Actually Sucks."
Wait, maybe they have the video embedded in the article still.
Yes. Let's look. We'll
Look for
find
that.
it. We'll find this.
Oh, there
article.
it is. There it is.
What happened to
Hold on.
Grayson?
No, that's gonna be the
Dave
Fox News one,
Rubin,
isn't it?
host of the Rubin
No
Report
shit,
on YouTube.
it's Rubin again.
This is very wise man and joins us. So
You're
today,
echoing
as I'm
again.
watching that, all of a sudden I had this kind of panic feeling, thinking maybe I fell for an elaborate, ironic prank from HuffPo, and then I realized no, because they don't have a sense of humor. I mean, but reassure me,
Yeah.
this is real, right?
Tucker, very quickly on the last segment,
Yeah, this is a full video. It's so
the
cringe.
highest paid man in television. I am shocked, and I'm gonna, I don't get paid for these appearances, but I am going to mail you a check for somewhere between $15 and $20. Okay, that
I
aside,
appreciate
yes,
that, Dave.
this is, yeah, you got it, my friend. Listen, these puff piece of Huffington Post. I mean,
I don't know if we should watch the whole
pieces
thing.
that these
It-
authors, whatever they are, journalists, that they write the holiday and giving and being,
Exactly.
doing something they've done,
That's
or
the point we were at when we stopped before.
No, I love how Tucker is just like exactly. He's just like trying to get Dave Rubin. It's already been a minute and 30 seconds, and you already can tell that Tucker is just very tired of Dave Rubin.
Yeah. Like, there are so many
Okay,
different
so it
kinds
turns
of
out they
exactly,
deleted
and
the
that is
video.
the exactly
It
of
turns
why
out
are
they-
you here.
It's okay. So it turns out they deleted the video off their official website and Twitter, but for some reason, it seems it's still up on Facebook. So I'll just post a video, in the private chat.
There we go.
It seems it's still up on Facebook. So I'll just post a video. Oh boy, I love hearing myself.
Okay, so it's still on Facebook.
Mhm. Yeah, look, he's posted it in the chat.
Okay. Hold on. Hey, so any shows? So guys, so 2 good shows are coming out at the end of the month after Christmas. I'm excited because the Book of Boba Fett is coming out. Is anyone looking forward to that?
I prefer the Legends
Yeah.
novels.
Yes, same.
I don't know. I think it looks pretty good. And then I think Ray should be excited because Boba Fett has an Asian sidekick.
Oh yeah, It's the only time that we'll accept Asian people in the sidekick scenario, because in that sense they've actually written it in a way that makes sense.
What about old Asian mentors?
Yeah, that's all right as well.
Also, after this, we should look at the comments, because I imagine the comments are a gold mine.
Oh, speaking of old Asian mentors in sequels, also on the 31st, the new season of Cobra Kai comes out, and that show has absolutely no right to be as good as it is.
Huh, we'll have to take a look at it.
Okay.
No, it's a sequel. Look at this. It's a sequel show to the 1980s Karate Kid movie. But it's good, and I don't know why it is, but it's really good.
Don't they operate under the
That's
premise
wild.
that the kid from that movie is actually the bad guy?
Not really, but he is a dick.
Okay.
But no,
Also,
but
don't
it's
forget
like,
to mute
nobody's
yourself
really good or
when you
bad.
play the
The
video.
only true bad guy is the mentor, is like the evil, or not the mentor, but the evil guy from the karate master from the first one. Okay, hold on.
Look at the beat. Hey,
Might as well.
Stop calling me names.
Oh,
All right, son, try it on.
I don't wanna. Daddy, I don't like it.
You'll like it and wear it.
Oh, but Daddy. It's not very comfortable.
There are more important things than comfort. Self-respect. Honor, you should be ashamed of yourself. From now on, gang, we won't let Rudolph join in any reindeer games, right? No, this is man's work. Now, there's one thing I want to make very plain. No dough of mine is going to be seen with a red-nosed reindeer. You'll never fit in. Now, you come to elk practice and learn how to wiggle your ears and chuckle warmly and go hee-hee and ho-ho and important stuff like that. A dentist. Good grief.
the soundtrack is something else. I mean,
Great
these
stock
these
music.
are actually somewhat what's the word for it?
Good
Criticisms
points.
that you wouldn't have expected were good points, but they actually are. Like, for
No,
example,
no,
any
the thing is,
deviation
this
from the
is-
norm.
Yeah, I know.
Any
Okay, the
deviation
thing
from the
that,
norm will be punished unless it can be exploited by capital. I mean, okay, that's
The thing that-
actually a
the
fair
thing-
criticism.
the thing that I feel like is absolutely ridiculous is like, it's clear that this video was kind of tongue in cheek. Like, I mean, there were
Yeah,
true
yeah.
points, but like, it's serious that it was very lighthearted, especially given the music too going on.
Exactly, they
Like-
were not trying to cancel Rudolph.
It was stock music.
But then Tucker and Dave Rubin are like, oh, they're trying to get rid of Rudolph. Like, it's seriously, like, the video. I've never seen this video, but like, it wasn't as bad as I thought, and it did raise like fair points.
Yeah, I mean, the moral is don't be a discriminatory asshole, but, you know, it seems
Yeah.
people miss that point.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, maybe you could even imagine that the creators of that Rudolph production may have actually wanted those kind of reactions to the things that were on screen.
This was the 60s. This was
I
during
mean,
the civil
yeah.
rights movement. This was made during the civil rights movement. Of course, there's undertones.
Yeah. So I mean, when you've got Dave Rubin going on to Carlson, like, I can't believe these people are deriving these messages from the content. Well, I mean, you're supposed to derive that message from the content, I think.
it was a subtle way of trying to get people to like reevaluate.
Realize racism sucks. That's basically the goal.
I think George disagrees with you there.
Oh, what? Well, it depends what type of racism. I mean,
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say something like that, George. The resident racist.
No, George is that racist uncle who always banters at the Thanksgiving dinner table.
That is George. No, I know George in person. So yeah, I've been to bars with George before.
Oh God, we certainly have.
Yeah, no, George and I went on a bar crawl back. We went on two. We went on a small one in June, and then in late July, we went on one for my birthday. So either way,
Not sure where Grayson went.
I don't know where Grayson went. He probably
he disappeared at the beginning of the Fox News clip.
Really, the very first one?
Yeah. I don't know
when
where
he
he
played
went.
it the second time, he left.
Well,
not sure. I think he left right as you played the Huffington Post video.
no,
Really?
it was before that.
I think he left before that.
I shouted it out. I guess none of you heard it.
I don't know, but okay. Darth Kilhoun, let's talk about Christmas in the military because you're in the army, right?
Ooh, yeah, it's so much fun right now.
Are you not? Are you going to be active like over Christmas?
No, I'm on leave right now, so I'm officially doing nothing, and it's snowing in Montana right now.
Okay, so wait, are you visiting your family?
Yeah, I have nowhere else to go.
Fair enough. Except no, you can't go to Afghanistan anymore.
Yeah, I know. No more Christmases in Iraq and Afghanistan, although I never deployed, so I can't really say shit.
Oh, yeah. So, Ray, speaking of which, okay, so we're not going to cover Afghanistan on this, but we do need to have a stream at some point when the pig pen starts back up next week on Afghanistan.
Yeah,
So,
I propose that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Because
Yeah.
Ray, Roosticum and I were talking about earlier. He thought it was in late 2019, but then I corrected him, said it was March 2020. Remember the Afghanistan stream? It was like me, you, him, I think Clausington, Kevin.
Reese was in there too.
Yeah, a bunch
Reese
of people.
Yeah, no, it was the Afghanistan stream. That was the very first live stream I did, and then that was the stream that convinced me, hey, I should start a stream too. So
remember when you had the South Park avatar?
Yeah, for some reason you guys thought I was alt-right because I had a South Park avatar.
Yeah, big mistake there.
Well, no, but it's like, I mean, it's worse than I predicted. So we definitely need to do a stream on that.
Yeah, no. So it was funny. Somebody didn't understand the context. So I was walking around and I was singing. I was just singing to myself. When you're wounded and left on Afghanistan's plains and the women come out to cut up what remains, just roll to your rifle and blow out your brains and go to your God like a soldier. I was just singing that on the street one day and people were looking at me and somebody was like, "What are you singing?" And I was like, it's Kipling. It's the young British soldier.
Oh, you know? I have to ask Darth the question.
When your officer's dead and your sergeant looks white, you know
hey,
that
Darth,
it's
Darth.
Run from upright.
Yeah.
So take open orders, lay down and sit tight.
Speaking of,
sorry, I can't hear you over Polygrat.
Speaking of celebrating Christmas in the military, do you consider the film Behind Enemy Lines a Christmas movie?
Never watched, I'd have to say. So
You
I
ha-
can't.
I think I've seen it. It has who's the main actor's name?
The main actor played as Lightning McQueen in that Disney movie. So
Owen Wilson.
Yep. He played as the main character in that movie.
Yeah, Owen Wilson gets shot down over Serbia basically and has to escape.
Yep. But the very beginning of the movie takes place on Christmas. Like literally, he's deployed to take pictures in Serbia on Christmas, and he's like, "Man, they're making me do this mission when they're giving the best meal."
So yeah, during deployments, at least from what I've heard, I've never deployed, so I can't really say much. But Christmas is the commanders most of the time intentionally try to prevent anybody from going outside the wire on Christmas, but of course that doesn't always happen because sometimes the Taliban, well, of course they know, oh, it's December 24th and / December 25th. We better attack those American positions while they're distracted.
You know, to be fair, in the movie, him being deployed, well, not deployed, but basically being sent out on his mission on Christmas Day was basically punishment by his commanding officer because he was leaving the Navy out of boredom, and his commanding officer just didn't like it. Because the character in the movie, who's based off a real person, by the way, he's basically like a douchebag, and he gets into trouble. So the commanding officer's like, "You want to leave after 7 years of service? Get the hell out of here!" But before he leaves, he's given a Christmas mission. So in my opinion, I think that was just punishment. I think the commanding officer was just punishing him.
I mean, there's a lot of asshole officers, especially today. Luckily, my company commander isn't like that, but yeah, I've met a lot of douchebag officers, and they make their way in, and they stay in there because they are douchebags, and they find a way to stay in.
To be fair, the commanding officer also saved the guy's life. I shouldn't spoil the movie though.
Oh, so honestly, that's why it's better.
pretty
That's why it's
bad.
better to wage war against Christian countries because they'll respect Christmas.
Yeah,
I don't know. Aren't the Serbs? Aren't the
Christmas first, guys.
Serbs Christians?
They're Orthodox, yes.
I don't think bombing them taught them to like Christmas.
Yeah, God, what a mess. Honestly, I don't think we should have ever been in in the breakup of Yugoslavia, in my opinion.
I disagree. Although, interestingly, and then we need to get back on topic. But interestingly, Henry Kissinger, when Bill Clinton began bombing Kosovo, Henry Kissinger said it was a waste of time because the Balkan states are just going to kill each other to the bitter end, no matter what, even if you win it. So he thought it was a waste of time because they're going to kill each other anyway. So what's the point of intervening?
I mean, right now, also the Republic of Srpska is also threatening to like secede from Bosnia again. So we may see that war just spark up again.
What are you saying, George?
Oh, I was gonna. Calhoun basically said it.
I like how you call him Calhoun.
Who is it? What's his real name? Kilhoun.
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 Or
You
Darth.
You had to go with Kilhoun and not like it.
Okay, guys. Speaking of which, while we are on this topic, let's watch this real quick.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, World War One.
As night falls on Christmas Eve, Allied soldiers are surprised by what they are hearing over from the German trenches. Private Frank Sumter is one of the first to recognize what they are singing.
And then we heard the Germans singing Silent Night, Holy Night. Our boys said, let's join in. So we joined in with the song.
The British sentries don't know what to make of what's happening across the narrow no man's land. Private Leslie Walkington was there.
So then we began to pop our heads over the side and jump down quickly in case they shot, but they didn't shoot. And then we saw a German standing up, waving his arms, and we didn't shoot.
When they met on Christmas Eve, first they were afraid of each other, and then they started to talk and shaking hands. And once they did that, it just seemed to be friends.
The British khaki and the German grey are soon gathering, all mingled together.
By Christmas 1914, every soldier knew that the enemy was sharing the same misery as they were.
Both sides are well aware that consorting with the enemy is only one step away from treason, a crime punishable by court-martial and execution. Men on both sides go to sleep that night, wondering if they will wake up the next morning to renewed fighting, or a continued effort to defy the war. The fear of punishment is enough to get most of the soldiers back to fighting.
How amazingly difficult it must have been for these people to pick up shooting again, and with any kind of vigor, try and kill people in the opposite trench that they just celebrated Christmas with.
Private Archibald Stanley remembers how his officer put an end to their armistice.
Well, if you're knocking around, this fella come up the next day. He said, "You still got the armistice?" Picked up his rifle, he shot one of the Germans dead.
Yeah, I've always liked that
quick,
story.
a
I've
quick
always
fun
liked
fact-
that story.
A quick fun fact, though. A certain World War I veteran who eventually became the dictator of Germany. When this happened, he actually protested celebrating Christmas with the enemy. He was like, "What are you doing? We shouldn't be celebrating Christmas. We should be killing those British people."
Because he was dead.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I haven't made it to that part in his book yet, but
Are you reading
I'm
Mein
it.
Kampf?
Yeah, I'm reading it. It's a thick read though, so
I had to
I'm
read it in
slow-
high school. I had to read it in high school. So
filled with atrocious writing.
yeah, he wasn't.
Yeah,
that
that's why I have to like read it twice over just to actually like get it.
No, it was funny because so my high school library had like a first edition of Mein Kampf, and on the front, so this was before we knew the Holocaust was like going on, and so on the front cover, like how books have blurbs.
Yeah.
So the blurb on this book was praise for Mein Kampf, and so it was like a fantastic book that really delves
Didn't
into the
age well.
mind of one of the greatest leaders of our time,
And
the
it didn't age
Washington
well.
Post, the Whatnot, or the New York Times. It was like that aged well.
I think there's an old issue of Foreign Affairs, and they had an article by Mussolini in it.
Oh yeah, no, I cited that for an essay I wrote this past semester. Yeah, it was the foreign. No, I don't think it was Mussolini. I think it was one of his former friends who like defected or something.
No, it was written in the 1920s, I think, or 1930s.
Oh,
and it was
okay. I
by
was thinking of one that
Mussolini.
was written in the late 30s.
I
right on the
think.
eve of the war.
You know what's interesting?
What?
Apparently, a lot of like the original like texts from like fascist authors, like Gentile, have never been translated into English ever.
Really? So somebody could actually make a lot of money by
No. A theory as to why. No. Listen, a theory as to why they were never translated into English is because some people think it's let's just say profitable never to publish that material ever.
You see, I don't like that mindset. It's like knowledge should be accessible.
Well, it's time I learn Italian, I guess.
I have a coworker who knows Italian. I can tell, or she like studied it, and I could be like to her, "Hey, you should translate Gentile's work and then make money." I don't think that would be good for optics, though.
I don't know. I mean, like,
It
it wouldn't be
doesn't strike me as the most
profitable
political person, so.
What were you saying, George?
I mean, it's not like studying fascism is illegal.
No.
Yeah, but it's like, why has no one translated these works which influenced one of the most consequential regimes in human history?
I mean, yeah, that's a fair point, but it's like also like if we were talking about Evola before the stream started, and like he, I think most of his works were only translated like in the last decade into English.
Really?
Yeah, well, except for like except for the big books. I'm talking about like the niche things that he wrote that
Like Metaphysics of War?
yeah, like stuff like that.
To be fair, there's a problem with the narrative, though, that basically like capitalists are like censoring fascist texts by refusing to translate them. If that's the case, why are Marxist works still translated?
Because Marxism can be commodified.
Because
True.
also Marx lived in England and he did publish it in English originally.
It's easier to market Marx from like, because basically communism is basically owned by capitalism at this point, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd have
Like
to
Ray,
concur on
would
that.
you disagree with that? That socialism, communism is basically owned by capitalism.
I mean, only in the context of like, unfortunately, a lot of the publications. I mean, you can get to a point where you've got people with copyrights over stuff that they shouldn't be having, and so they can essentially have people who are making money off the publication of things that are calling for those institutions to not exist.
No, I also think what's hilarious is Che Guevara. How I know people complain about like, oh, on his shirts, people complain, oh no, it's people, all those college kids shouldn't be wearing the shirts, and I was like, I can't think of a bigger fuck you to Che Guevara though. I think it's hilarious. Like Che Guevara's become a capitalist icon. Like,
Yeah,
no
I find
joke.
that really weird as well. Like that his face would be used in that way.
No, but he is. It's commodified revolution, and I think it's hilarious.
Also, I think, I mean, this may tie into a criticism that China once made of the Cuban Revolution as well, which is that it is quite interesting that capitalism chooses to commodify the exact form of revolution which is the least likely to actually be successful if it were enacted today.
What would be?
Che Guevara's approach, which is called
Oh,
Foucaultism,
yeah.
which is where you get a bunch of guys together and you just take over the state and then everything magically falls in line behind you.
No, do you know what would work the best though? Poseidism, guys.
Well, I mean, that's viable, but probably not desirable.
You know, this
Well, okay.
actually might be the perfect segue to the idea of like the commodification of Christmas.
Oh God, yes.
Yes,
Yeah, let's talk about that because that's actually.
Wait, should we talk about that first, or should we talk about the war on the quote unquote war on Christmas?
Honestly, the war. I think we don't really have any good examples yet of the war on Christmas. Although I'm sure we can cherry pick some examples from Google.
The last great example was Cromwell, and he turned out very well.
No.
Oh yes,
okay,
he
so
banned
Christmas. Back
Christmas.
then, there legitimately was a war on Christmas back in the 1600s, and it's interesting. So
he was a Puritan
it
asshole.
was the Calvinists who today are generally the ones who say there's a war on Christmas.
Yeah, but Cromwell was just a Puritan asshole.
What?
Cromwell was just a Puritan asshole. You really can't separate Cromwell from his Puritanism. And what's funny is that
he was the OG cancel culture leftist, right?
Depends on what you define as leftist. He certainly wasn't leftist culturally.
Calvin was a leftist.
Well, no, to be fair, wasn't
Yes,
okay?
yes,
All
he
right.
was.
All right. Wait. So the Whigs and the Tories, they're a product of that English Civil War, and the Whigs supported strengthening the power of Parliament. Many of them wanted to get rid of the monarchy altogether.
Before the Whigs, this is when it was the
Yes. But if Cromwell, like, didn't he die in his like 40s? I don't remember how.
He wasn't assassinated, was he? Or no, he died of gangrene.
He died of like a disease. Like
he died of gangrene.
Yeah, like, do you think if he survived to see like the creation of the Whigs and the Tories, he would have been a Whig?
Yes, he would have.
Maybe. I don't know. He would have been more radical than the Whigs, still though.
No, there were some Whigs back then who thought like the king was basically like think of how we think of Hitler today. That's how they viewed the monarch.
They're the
back
cringe
then.
Whigs.
So no, Cromwell was 59 when he died.
Yeah.
How did he die?
Okay, I am looking for that, but
why do I want to say it was gangrene?
He lived way past his 50s, so yeah, he was an old man for that time.
Oh, I'm dying. Oh no.
George, you need to lose weight. Don't die of COVID.
I do. I can't die of COVID.
Yes, all of you, go work out, go lift weights, become a trad Catholic.
No, he's an atheist.
Anyways, on to more interesting topics. I guess the war scare over Ukraine's over now. It seems like things have simmered down.
That has
So-
nothing to do with Christmas. Let's get into the commodification of traditions. But before we do that, I must step away for just a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Come back. Don't. Okay, Kilhoon, what were you saying?
I was just saying, lift weights, go to mass, become a trad Catholic. I was also looking for Cromwell's death, and yeah,
Dude, what
his
was that-
his
What was that
Wikipedia
anime we
article.
watched? That Wolf Brigade anime? That was pretty good.
Jinro.
Oh yeah, Jinro. God, that was actually the last anime I watched in a while. I haven't had time.
No, I think it was funny because you were like, "This is the most." He said, "This is the most right wing thing you're going to see all week." You were right. Hey Ray, what's your opinion on what was it, Genro?
Yes, Jinro.
What?
Oh, you don't know the glory of Jinro?
No.
an anime.
Who are we referring to?
It was an anime made in '99. It's where the meme of the right wing death squads come from.
Oh right, no, I haven't seen it.
Okay,
Although
well,
I guess I probably should now.
I think the right wing
it's on,
death.
it's on Crunchyroll. If you,
I mean,
if you
Ray's
have
a,
it.
Ray's a leftist, but I feel like Ray would be down for right wing death squads.
Hey, listen. She's down for right-wing death squads if Mao funds them.
Hey, what if they're
Because
funded
Mao
by?
actually did.
I can't confirm or deny any of that.
What
To
if
be
they're
fair, Mao
funded?
actually did fund a few right-wing movements because he really hated the Soviet Union.
Ooh.
Dude, no, Mao was Mao. No, that's why Mao wasn't a communist. Mao was a Maoist. Mao does whatever Mao wants. Whatever suits Mao.
Marxism, Leninism, Maoism. But listen, I prefer Marxism, Leninism, Pol Potoism because first of all, people who wear glasses are scum. They need to die. And second of all, we need to return to an agrarian society.
I'm wearing glasses.
Yeah, I'm wearing glasses too.
You
I
need to
guess
be
I'm dead.
executed by the state.
And
You're
also,
a
obviously,
threat.
for the YouTube censor, who's watching this, that's obviously a joke.
Oh, yes.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there are unironic Pol Potoists who basically have like an agrarian interpretation of Marxism.
I mean, 3/5 of us here wear glasses, or 4/5.
Yeah, I wear glasses too. Obviously,
Wait,
I'm
do you wear
joking.
glasses?
Yes, I wear glasses.
Sometimes.
Oh, so wait, no. Do you have like a prescription for glasses?
Oh yes, it exists. It's a thing.
So we all need glasses.
I guess we're all dying.
And I know George wears glasses. He has little square glasses, no, rectangular glasses, right, George?
Well, I mean, look, you can overcome this by wearing contacts. You see, this is how this works.
No, I hate those. I hate
I have
those
contacts.
abominations.
But no, we need to return to an agrarian society. Listen,
agrarian
if we-
society. It's all
if we
been
want to
downhill since agrarian
overcome
society.
the exploitation of capitalism, which is inevitable, we need to return to an agrarian society. That's all. That's Pol Pot was completely right by deindustrializing Cambodia. He was a hero.
Cambodia conveniently after like the 91 went back to the monarchy. I think because of Pol Pot.
Oh, Pol Pot was allied to the monarchy or monarchist movement, per Wikipedia at least.
Was it left wing? Wait, was it left wing monarchism?
It was Sihanouk tricking himself into thinking he was smarter than he actually was, and then getting owned.
Yeah. Hey, listen, it's apparently not a contradiction to be a left-wing monarchist, because when I took a political quiz recently, I got monarcho-socialism.
Look, basically, it was a case of Sihanouk saying to himself, "I'm going to be allied with the enemy of my friend's enemy, and nothing could possibly go wrong." And then he ended up basically in the camp of Pol Pot.
So
listen, Marxism, Leninism, Pol Potoism is just based. You can't deny that.
So the thing about, like, especially when I was reading the beginning of the Communist Manifesto, I was like, is Marx a reactionary? Because he's like lamenting the end of feudalism. It's hilarious.
Was he lamenting it?
Yeah, he was.
He laments that, like, stuff like capitalism doing certain things that are actually worse than what
He
feudalism was doing.
but Marx actually liked capitalism. He just thought that it had run its course.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
And so that's why you see at the beginning, of his writing, he starts out like that,
Marx
and
was
then near the
never
end of
like
it becomes more obvious.
Because we need to remember the difference between Marx. Marx is strong, but he was just being analytical. He wasn't actually calling for revolution. Like,
oh my
he was
god!
just
Don't
saying-
remind me of that stupid debate between Haas and Jason Unruh, where Haas said Marx actually never advocated for a violent overthrow of capitalism, and Jason Unruh was like, "We're done. We're done." He literally advocated for a revolution. We're done. You've lost all credibility, Haas.
That was Engels. That was Engels who did. Marx wasn't really advocating for it. Marx was
Engels
writing. He thought it was just inevitable. He was.
Yeah, Marx strongly suggests that it will happen, but he doesn't literally say, "Guess what, guys? This is how you're going to organize the revolution." Because he never actually goes.
The only the closest thing to him actually calling for a revolution was at the end of the Communist Manifesto, where he says, "Workers of the world unite." But he's saying that because the whole thing about the Communist Manifesto, he wrote it in the language of idiots, so idiots would understand what he's trying to talk about, and he used hyperbole for them to do that.
Yeah,
you need to understand the context. Marx was not a revolutionary. Marx was an academic. He was, whether you want to debate how good of an academic he was, that's up for debate. But he was an academic. That's literally all he was.
If you read the Communist Manifesto,
it's a good little read. It is a fun read.
The actual policies in that book are not that extreme by today's standards. Like, some of them are, but a lot of them are basically just standard social democratic policies.
Yes, people often say that, but think of it this way. If you took that list of things right now and airdropped it into any of these semi-feudal third world countries that exist right now, it would be then quote unquote controversial. And that's where the whole issue of the whole peasant revolution thing comes into play.
Or if you dropped it into like CPAC.
Oh yeah, it would be controversial among them too, because that's why.
You dropped it into CPAC. Oh, that's all communism. It is, but like it's not. It's not particularly controversial communism.
Also, sometimes people end up accidentally creating their own communist movements out of people who might not have done so otherwise. Give me a moment, because I'm sure I had it here earlier on.
Like Rosa Luxemburg?
Murasamism?
No, it was the Ho Chi Minh's list of demands that he made at the beginning before he actually decided he was going to do communism, right? I'm going to see if I can find it. What was it called?
Oh yeah, I
Link it
remember
in the private chat.
Indo-Chinese.
But no, seriously, if you really want to understand Marxism, read Das Kapital. That's what you should read, not the Communist Manifesto.
Book, though.
Listen, just get a condensed version, because Karl Marx has an unfortunate habit of repeating himself.
This is a list of 10 demands that Ho Chi Minh had at the beginning. Okay, apparently. Let me just check the date on this. This was 18th of February, 1930. And his 10 demands were the overthrow of French imperialism and Vietnamese feudalism, to make Indochina independent, to establish a worker-peasant-soldier government, to confiscate the banks and other enterprises belonging to the French imperialists and putting them under the control of that government, to confiscate all of the plantations and property belonging to the French imperialists and the Vietnamese reactionary bourgeoisie and to distribute them to the poor peasants, to implement an 8-hour working day, to abolish the forced buying of government bonds, to abolish the poll tax, and to abolish all unjust taxes that were targeting the poor, to bring democratic freedoms to the masses, to establish universal education, and to realize equality between man and woman. Those were his 10 demands. Of course, naturally, French imperialism said no to all of the above, and then he did
radical.
what he did.
It is in some areas, but like if you add them all together, it's not particularly radical.
No, it would be radical in the context of Vietnam at the time, though.
Indeed, in 1930 in Vietnam, that was considered radical, scary. And so, of course, French imperialism was like, hell no to all 10 of these. And then, of course, what then went on to happen.
Also, the Vietnamese emperor would have been like, oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, him as well. Yeah, him as well. So, the whole thing would have been like, well, no to all 10 demands. And then, of course, you know how that played out.
I mean, I agree with him on the bourgeoisie part, confiscate their land, but not the feudalism part. That's base.
What are you, like a Catholic Nazgul? I'm just kidding.
No,
Basically-
I'm a
You're a
Catholic
distributist.
reactionary. Yes, I am very distributist.
Based.
I prefer to say I'm based, but it won't happen until I'm actually implementing the society.
I like
George.
distributors, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
Are you
Hello.
still an esoteric Bidenist?
Oh, yeah.
Esoteric Bidenism.
No, I prefer anarcho-Bidenism. Basically, just make
Contemplate
everyone
the ice
brain
cream
dead.
cone.
And
Realize that it
Biden's get the
captures-
wall, too. Come on, Bear.
Realize that the ice cream cone actually captures the concept of human development ascending in a spiral that gets ever wider as it encompasses all of humanity. That's what we're going with right here.
Basically, to explain esoteric Bidenism, you have to realize Obama is our Lenin and Biden is our Stalin minus competence.
No. Anarcho-Bidenism would basically be imagine
So
instead
what
of
was Trump's Trotsky?
listen. Imagine instead of having communes operating under direct consensus democracy, we have retirement homes operating under direct democracy, and that is the basis for society.
But they wouldn't
That's
know, but they wouldn't be able to
anarcho-Bidenism.
govern themselves. They'd be so confused. That's
Exactly.
anarcho-Bidenism.
Exactly,
Oh,
they
that's
wouldn't.
anarcho-Bidenism?
No, but Biden is already one with them on that confusion.
So my question is, was Trump Trotsky then?
Yes.
Yes.
Again, well, actually, plus the competence. Trotsky, I don't know.
Hey,
Let's just say
do
there are
you
a
guys
lot of
remember- no, wait,
opportunities.
do you guys remember that Genesis? Do you guys remember that Genesis music video from the
Oh, they
80s?
thought you said
Land of,
Genesis,
Land,
not
of,
some other
Land of Confusion.
Land of confusion.
They should do that with Biden.
Yes, that would be so good.
No, because it was like Reagan. Do you remember the Reagan puppet in that?
Yes. It was creepy as fuck, but yeah.
No, but you know who did that? You know the people who you know who those puppets were, right? They were the spitting image puppets.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, that's a classic video, and it has Bonzo in it? Was it bedtime for Bonzo? Hey there, Bonzo.
Did you read the news today? They say the danger's coming our way.
Wait. The British Army just won the war.
We're back under the crown. Yes.
Hey, let's get back on Christmas. So what were we talking about? We were talking about
Wait, about a lucky man who just made the grade. What? And though the news was rather sad, well, I just had to laugh, and I saw the photograph, and he blew his mind out in the car and didn't notice that the lights changed. Because a crowd of people stood and stared because they'd never seen his face before. Nobody was really sure if he was from the House of Lords. So,
I mean, I thought the segue was because
Never mind. I was making a Beatles reference, but okay.
I actually should listen to more of the Beatles. It's just I really hate John Lennon. I hate him as a person, but that's about it.
Yeah,
because he made the song. What was it called?
Imagine.
Imagine. Yes, that is one of the worst songs ever written, and I will never forgive John Lennon for that.
Everyone goes through that process at least once of realizing that Imagine actually sucks, and then think of it as ironic, and then think of it as sincere, and then ironic, and then post irony. Everyone first likes Imagine because they understand it completely, and then they dislike it because they understand it completely, and then they learn to love it again because they understand it completely.
Yeah. No. It was, okay, so Kilhoun should appreciate this, but Robert Barron basically made a video all about Imagine, the bishop, and was talking about how I love this song, but I hate this song. That was basically the premise of his video.
I honestly wonder what like a bishop from like the 1950s would have said about it.
Have you all ever seen the video version of there was one adaptation that was done of it? Was it done by A Perfect Circle? Look, yes, it was. Yes, look up Imagine, but by A Perfect Circle, and look at the way they said it, because they remixed it, they shifted it into a minor key, and presented some of the concepts in there as their inverted threatening forms, and then presented an on-screen display at the same time. And let me just put it this way: it's something to behold.
One of my favorites is the ANCAP Imagine. It's like, imagine there's no taxes. It's easy if you try.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, A Perfect Circle did not invert any of the words. All they did was they essentially took liberal assimilationism and made that the actual subject of the song, and then shifted it into a minor key so it sounded more threatening. So Imagine There's
Oh,
No
yeah, yeah,
Countries
no, I know
then
what you mean,
became
yeah.
basically globalists taking over and destroying your life, for example.
So was it ironic, or were they actually just trying to like prove a point, like that? Imagine the world that Lenin talks about sucks.
Yeah, that there are two ways of imagining it. That there's the imagine that Lenin probably thought about, and then there's the imagine which is actually playing out in front of us as we speak. And they were saying that the one that's actually happening is the worst
In
possible
theory
version
versus
of
in
imagine.
practice.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And so yeah, I
there's,
think they were sincere in their presentation of that video, because it was supposed to make you think, oh, Imagine has happened, just in the exact opposite way that we thought it would.
Oh, so you know the song American Pie, right? Like, oh my Miss American Pie. So there's a line in the song, and it's when Lenin read a book on Marx. I thought it was Lenin as an Lenin. I had always thought that, but apparently it's Lennon.
Wow.
So
I don't know,
it's
I
like a
prefer the
jab
movie.
at
I prefer the movie adaptation.
of what?
American Pie.
Isn't that where the term MILF comes from?
Yes, I think so.
MILF. All right. So speaking of which, so have any of you guys did any of you guys start watching the season 2 of The Witcher yet?
I haven't even watched the first one. I don't subscribe to Netflix.
Oh, well, no, but so anyway, in the books and the games and in the show, there's a kingdom called Nilfgaard, and so I sometimes call it Milfgaard as a joke. Anyway,
so we have the commodification of Christmas. We'll get to.
Yes.
Charlie, yeah, we need to learn from the Charlie Brown Christmas special.
No. I mean,
Yes, what did we learn from it?
Materialism is gay. I'm just kidding.
You're gay.
It depends on the type of imperialism.
No, he's a materialism. He didn't say imperialism.
Oh, materialism. I thought you said imperialism.
We all know you're for Holy Roman imperialism.
I mean, if it's like a Christian monarchy, I really don't care the type of imperialism.
Does it have to be Catholic?
Catholic or Orthodox.
Not evangelical.
Yeah, cringe.
Anyway, can we?
Scottish Presbyterian monarchy.
Only if it's like a Charles the Martyr, but that would be the only thing I would accept.
Okay. Anyway, so Veristacrum. Since this was your idea, this segment was your idea, I'll let you start us off.
So basically, I think something that is equally as problematic as a so-called war on Christmas is how materialistic Christmas has become over the years. And we've seen it with how basically the shopping malls and the grocery stores are overcrowded, so similar to Black Friday, sometimes worse depending on where you live, because people want to buy things, and they think that, oh, if I buy this like really expensive toy, it's going to show that I love someone. And something just really disgusts me about how materialistic Christmas has become. And a major problem I have with capitalism is it undermines, co-ops, or destroys positive institutions and traditions if they find it profitable enough. What you call the commodification of traditions, but sometimes capitalism just straight up destroys certain traditions if it finds it profitable enough. That's basically all I have to say. I just think Christmas is very materialistic, and maybe not materialistic, but consumerist. I don't like the consumerism Christmas has become associated with. And I think it's an example of how capitalism promotes the decay of otherwise beneficial traditions.
Devil's advocate counter argument. Some people would argue that when the Roman Empire was first presiding over this tradition in the first place, that the idea of one person buying an expensive gift and then trading it with another person who may not give them back a gift of similar value, but might give them any random thing else that they might have decided to give them, is inherently non-capitalist in and of itself. Because gift exchange is the oldest form of trade.
That's true, but there's definitely an element of consumerism that's become associated with Christmas. You agree to that, right?
Oh, sure.
That's what I'm opposed to.
Yeah, I mean, there is other stuff. Like I'm
Perhaps I didn't
only
phrase
focusing
it
on
the
the
way I
gift exchange
should've.
part. The gift exchange part, I don't think is like a feature of
Yeah, I
capitalism.
agree. I don't mind the gift exchange part, but it's the consumerism aspect that I find revolting.
So I always point out the example of Santa Claus, especially the American version that we astroturfed upon the rest of the world. Yeah, the Coca-Cola one that everybody has in their mind when they think of him, but in reality, like Saint Nicholas was never depicted with red robes. He was always depicted in green robes, never depicted carrying a sleigh or delivering gifts. He did deliver like chocolates and stuff on his feast day to kids that left their stockings out to dry, but that was like a tradition from both the Netherlands and Germany. Like what we think of those places as today, they didn't exist back then, but it's
the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah, it was the Holy Roman Empire, but still the Holy Roman Empire was like a confederation at best. And like each of these states like didn't really have a central identity. But I digress. But like Saint Nicholas, a man that cared about charity to the poor, ending of prostitution, those were his messages in life. And then we've just taken him and astroturfed him as a fat old man that likes to break into people's houses and leave conspicuous
and
gifts.
give
for
them
children.
Xboxes.
Yeah, give Xboxes because apparently Saint Nicholas would encourage kids to be consumerist hedonists. Yeah, that's totally his character.
Dude, no. So this picture is actually a depiction of Saint Nicholas doing the most badass thing ever. You know what this is? This is him. This is a famous picture of him from I think it was the Hagia Sophia, of him punching Arius in the face at the Council of Nicaea.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Everyone knows about the Arian heresies, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No, so Arius was a heretic.
George.
The Council of Nicaea was called by Emperor Constantine in 320, I think. Yeah. To decide to just settle the matter of, okay, so what is the nature of Christ and God? And they decided on the Trinity. But so Arius was like, no, he didn't agree with the Trinity. And so St. Nicholas got so fucking pissed that he got up and he punched Arius in the face and started a fight, like an all-out brawl in the middle of the Council of Nicaea.
God, I love the early
Absolutely
bishops.
wild.
But again, what's also interesting, so one of my favorite bits of Christmas lore, hold on. It's how
Wait,
modern
so hold on,
Santa
just
Claus.
before you go into that, then I have to ask a question on this because I'm wondering about these overlapping identities. Then, so the person that people keep referring to as Santa Claus, they refer to this person as being co-identical with Saint Nicholas, but then who is the person that they were talking about in Germany that they would have referred to as Sinterklaas? Then, who is that person? Are they all just three people they've rolled into one?
Sinterklaas came out when Luther did his heresy, and he wanted to be disassociated with Saint Nicholas, so he came up with the idea of Sinterklaas to replace him.
Okay.
So that's the whole idea behind that. So
he was a recent invention then as well.
Yes, it was relatively recent.
So in terms of the
okay,
concept of a guy flying on a
this is actually what I wanted to
sleigh,
get into.
the whole concept is new.
So basically, our modern incarnation of Santa Claus is actually a cross between Saint Nicholas and Odin. If you really want to get down to it.
And don't forget Coca-Cola advertising.
And Coca-Cola capitalism. It's capitalism, Odin, and Santa. And I like the Odin in the Saint Nicholas bit because it's sort of combining the archetypical Germanic kind of cultural motif that Odin represents, which is basically the king. What was it? So Odin is known as he's regarded as the king of the wild hunt. So what he does is he rides around in the sky with his host following him, just doing badass shit. And it's supposed to be like during the solstice. It's said that Odin in his wild hunt just like fly across the sky, hunting whatever. And so that was basically combined with Saint Nicholas delivering gifts on Christmas, and then he has like his friends in tow, like Krampus and all those guys. And so it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's like a mix of traditions. And so this picture I have up here is a painting of the Nordic wild hunt, and I don't know which one. Oh yeah, and you see Odin in the front with his sword raised, and yeah.
Hmm. But okay, so I mean, what determined? I mean, you might know the answer to this, you might not, because maybe these things are shrouded by mystery at this point. But what determined that this cross between Odin and Saint Nicholas would become the Santa Claus character that exists now? But then when you roll around to Easter, for example, despite the fact that there is a known and documented tradition of people in the British Isles, for example, worshipping the fertility goddess Oster around that time period. Why did she not become a character, but they instead invented whole cloth and anthropomorphic bunny instead? I mean, they literally had the option of goddess of the dawn versus a literal bunny, and they chose a bunny.
Because bunnies are based.
I mean, bunnies, like, I don't know exactly when the Easter Bunny came around, but that's also a fairly recent invention from what I know.
Way more recent than Santa.
Yes,
Santa
extremely
came about
recent.
like in what? Santa was like 1800s. But
I
it
mean,
was also in the UK. It was Father Christmas.
I mean,
and like
yeah,
all of these, and then with the United States, Santa Claus, Kris Kringle, Sinterklaas, all of these things merged into Santa Claus over
And then-
time. Like they were all different figures.
and then the
that
Catholic
basically-
nation just kept on with good old Saint Nick.
And so yeah, my family's Bavarian, so we do this thing every Christmas Eve. We get a gift by like the Christkind, I think it is, or the Christ child.
Der Christ, der Christjunge.
Yeah, you do that. Your family did that too.
My father's generation did, but then of course he tries to disassociate from the German, so yeah, kind of stopped.
Oh no, my family always did that. So
I wish I'm probably gonna bring it back in all honesty when I have
do
kids.
it like just like we always have my brothers and I. We always had like these little mini trees in our room.
Mm-hmm.
So like we get a gift under those little mini trees. So I
Yeah,
should have brought one to my apartment, but I'm going home tomorrow for tomorrow night, so that should be fun. I have
Yeah, well,
work.
let's get back on
I can
topic
tell you,
about the commodification
I can tell you one
of
thing for
tradition.
sure. I can tell you one thing for sure. It's not going to appear under any trees this Christmas.
What?
A GPU.
Oh no!
Not a single GPU to be found.
Why do you have to
Santa
be
can't
so
stop
cruel?
A what?
GPU.
You're not going to get any
GPU.
graphics cards.
It's a, yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm not following.
graphics cards.
You're not going to get any because, again, the
Chip
shortage
shortage.
continues.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah, graphics cards for like 2 years have been unattainable now.
Literally, I sort of think to myself sometimes I must have bought the last graphics card that existed at a normal price.
Oh,
Why is there like a supply chain crisis on that?
It's because of just chip production in general. Like cars need the chips, your household appliances need chips, computers need chips, graphics cards, everything that has a tiny little computer in it needs those chips. So graphics cards are kind of like on the last totem pole. That's why there's a shortage of them.
Yeah.
So why doesn't
Well, I mean-
the government
I mean,
like
even
subsidize
cars.
these companies? Wait,
I mean, even cars
the
got
government
an
should
issue
honestly
recently.
the government should
Because they were-
subsidize these companies so they can, you know.
Oh, we already
create more
tried
of it.
that.
They
it
tried that?
failed.
That didn't
yeah,
work?
like
It didn't
decades
work.
ago. Yeah.
I mean, Intel is building a new facility in Europe now, so I mean that should help a little bit.
Also, some
But-
car companies in Japan have decided they're gonna use some off-the-shelf products for their car stuff, so they don't have to request like new orders of stuff that hasn't been made yet. But again, it remains to be seen as to how well that will work out.
Yeah, I mean that's why I just went with a Ryzen 7 APU because frankly I can do 1080p fine. without a graphics card.
That
But
must be painful though.
I honestly get like 60 FPS on most games, so I'm happy. I don't need anything fancy.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, when the prices go down, you'll probably also. I mean,
Oh,
by Easter, you'll probably have one.
oh yeah, I'm gonna do a whole new build because I did like a mini build because I only had the APU. So it was like
Mhm.
I only need the processor, but I'm gonna do a full build again when this graphics card shortage ends.
Hey,
fair point, makes sense.
Let's.
I mean, upside,
I
you
think
can do
we
a
should.
street. No, go ahead.
I think I just kind of want to get back on topic about the commodification of traditions and consumerism's impact on Christmas. What do you guys think of that in general?
Not a big deal.
I worked in retail during Christmas a few years, and it makes me really hate it made me hate the commodification of Christmas from a really young age.
I've always loved getting gifts and giving gifts. Like, I especially love giving gifts more than anything. I feel like I might be the only one. But like,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm in the same boat.
I usually like let
There's,
my entire bank.
Okay.
I know. Listen. Okay, let me talk.
Sorry, my
I
apologies.
usually like waste my entire, like, for instance, I only have like $150 now left in my bank account. I had like 800.
What?
before. Like that's I go overboard with gifts. But what's funny? Oh, so, but yeah, no. So like, I bought my family a bunch of stuff. I bought some gifts for some friends in the fraternity I'm in. Oh, what's funny is I did a white elephant. And so one of the thing I got for the white elephant was a DVD copy of Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel.
Okay.
It was really random. But either way. So, like, I got one of my friends The Decline of the West. I got my brother
Of
like
course you
two, like,
did.
Yes.
I got my brother. I got another one. The Abolition of Man. The Abolition of Man by C.S. Lewis. Got my brother like 2 Lego sets and like a Miyazaki art book, and all this stuff was really expensive. Then I realized. Then I looked at my bank account. And I was like, oh crap! Now my bank account's not looking good. But you know what? It's Christmas. I don't care. And then I bought eggnog. I just drank an entire bottle of eggnog tonight. So I'm feeling it.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
Okay, commodification.
No. Like, when I'm talking about, like, for example, you know how on Black Friday we see like footage of people like murdering each other just to get like a PS5. Like, there's like footage of that out there. I was talking about that kind of consumerism. Like, that sometimes happens around Christmas time still. Like, everyone's out and they're trying to get the best deals. And like, imagine shooting someone or stabbing someone to death over a video game console. Like, at some point, you just got to sit back and say, this is probably not what Christmas is about.
I'm just seeing, oh, this is the late Roman Empire, guys. Yay.
Yeah, soon the fall will come and Byzantium will restore everything to glory. So.
What do you mean, Charlemagne? He'll come.
Charlemagne. I found it interesting. So I was reading Churchill's History of the English-Speaking People. He's comparing Europe and America, the sort of like the revolution to like the split between the Byzantine Empire and Rome. So it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of going off topic there, but I'm sorry. Continue.
What were we going on?
I was talking about I was mentioning like Black Friday, which is after Thanksgiving, to be fair. But I'm like generally all the consumerism that we see in like November and December, some of that turns violent even, which is insane to me. Like I remember seeing a video years ago of someone being stabbed over a fucking PlayStation. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I just look at I look at that footage and I'm just like, honestly, I'm a bit on the side that this is just a natural selection. And I would be content in just letting them do their violent mob. But also I know that I shouldn't wish that upon my fellow humans. So I'm kind of in a dilemma when deciding on that. But yes, it is sad. It is sad to see the state of our Christendom in this stage of absolute collapse and debauchery. But I mean, it's a natural course of civilization. Like, we're just in the decadent stage of empire. So pretty soon we'll have the collapse, the
Great Reset.
Oh yeah, the Great Reset. That won't do anything. Knowing the history of several empires, we're doomed to the trashman of history.
I will drink a sugar plum seltzer to that.
Okay, what would the collapse look like exactly for the United States? Because I think
No, we're not talking. No.
America,
This is about Christmas.
like
we're not talking about. This is not the decline of the West.
You're right. Let's talk about.
This is not the Oswald Spengler show.
Let's talk about consumerism and the commodification of Christmas.
Yeah, let's talk about inconsequential bullshit and not, I don't know, the infeasibility or feasibility of collapse, whatever that means in the United States. Let's talk about inconsequential stuff. Yes.
I mean, honestly, like, the commodification of Christmas is just a greatest sign of our decadent stage, and we've been in.
I don't think so.
I have to agree with you.
Oh, wait, decadence. Oh, decadence. Oh, whatever.
Bourgeois decadence. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn bourgeois. But yeah, it's.
No. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all are a bunch of leftists.
No, we're reactionaries.
Okay, I'm not a reactionary.
The leftists.
Well, we have
exactly.
we have a leftist. We have a reactionary here.
Anybody that is not a libertarian is a leftist.
Okay.
Anybody to the left of Ron Paul is a communist.
Yes.
And anybody to the left of me is a communist. So Ron Paul is a communist.
Everyone to the left of Hitler is a
that's actually pretty easy because Hitler was pretty centrist.
That's not.
Well, that's a hot take. That's a really hot take.
No, I mean he was like not culturally, but like
I don't know. No, let's be honest though. Fascism there was definitely an element of modernism to the original fascist movements.
Fascist was a hyper-modernist movement.
It was, yeah, and they also drew influence from the futurists. A lot of the original.
That's what I meant. I mean, it was a futurist movement. Yeah. Fascism, they had good architecture though. Fascists.
I kind of see.
The thing about fascism, though, is also they weren't really traditionalists either, because I mean they were pretending to be traditionalists in some cases, and Mussolini for a time had a cozy relationship with the Vatican, but that was mostly realpolitik. He didn't like the Catholic Church. He wanted Italy to become independent of Catholicism, but that's a topic for another day.
I mean, it's supposed that he did convert in the last year of his life, so.
Oh, that could be possible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But he was most likely an atheist for most of his life.
Okay, so Mussolini sucked. He was a dictator, of course, but like as far as dictators go, he was pretty middle tier in terms of like
how awful he was.
Like
but no, but it's like a great example though. It's like in Nazi Germany, the Hitler Youth, like people think the Nazis were like hardcore traditionalists, but the Hitler Youth literally encouraged reproducing outside of marriage. Like there were cases like of kids returning to their parents pregnant, and when the parents complained, the Nazi Party was like, "Shh, don't talk about it," because they were literally encouraging reproduction outside of marriage because they were more concerned with getting as many Aryan
white babies. They wanted as many white babies as possible.
They wanted as many blonde hair, blue-eyed babies as possible. Yeah.
Like if you look into the personal lives of the Nazis, they were actually very degenerate people.
Oh yeah. Could just Ernst Röhm for a great example.
Who was stabbed in the Night of the Long Knives? Yeah.
He wasn't stabbed; he was shot. But yeah. I mean, he deserved it too. But that we're getting off topic.
Yeah, I know. This always happens in Politicrat streams. We have no direction. How dare you, Politicrat? Moderate your streams better. I'm just kidding.
So
this isn't a pig pen. So like this is kind of more of a go wild stream.
That's fair.
So okay, let's start imagining what if we were to go to the streets and ask the average American, what what's Christmas about? Do you think they would honestly, in their first answer, say the birth of Jesus Christ?
I feel like more than you'd think would say yes.
I think it would be like you would have like it may be like I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass, by the way, but I think it would be like a good 60 to 70% would say it's about the birth of Jesus. Of course, you're always going to have knuckleheads that say, "Oh, it's about presents,"
or it's about
I
giving.
remember that
or,
South
or-
Park episode where it was like the pilot episode for South Park, and after Santa and Jesus beat the crap out of each other, but then they make peace. Stan and Kyle are talking, and Stan asks, "What is the meaning of Christmas?" And Kyle's like, "What?" And Stan just says, "Presents."
I mean, honestly, like if you were to ask a lot of people today, I think honestly, presents, Christmas tree, carols, like it would be all the aesthetic stuff without any of the actual substance. If that's what I would think would happen if we just started pulling people on the streets.
Maybe there actually is a poll about that. Let me look it up.
But it's no longer about like every year I see Christmas mass just like decrease in numbers, and honestly, like I've also seen like Protestant churches just be skeletons, at least in my area. So I'm not seeing
there
I'm
are
not seeing
polls
anything
about that, by the
healthy.
way. I found polls about the meaning of Christmas, but they're all from 2005 to 2010. Hold on,
It's such
actually
a
no, I found one from
2005 to
2017.
2010 thing.
I found one from 2017 from Pureform. I'm going to link the article in the chat. We can look it over, I guess, in the private chat. Check it. All right. It says Americans say religious aspects of Christmas are declining in public life. Shrinking majority believe biblical account of birth of Jesus depicts actual events. Shrinking majority. So you actually, Kilian is right. The people are less and less thinking of Christmas as a celebration of the birth of Jesus. Yeah, I linked the article in the description for if you want to look it over.
No,
Not the
maybe.
description,
Hold on.
the private chat.
And it's losing this emphasis that it is the Lord's Day instead of our day, that frankly has allowed for this consumerism idea to fester very highly.
No,
in.
it says Americans think it's being emphasized less. Not that they're saying it is less religious. They think it is being emphasized less.
And then we also should remember, though, too, like the reason we celebrate Christmas in December is not because Christ was actually born in December.
He's likely born in August, actually.
No, he was born in April.
I mean, it ranges because there are some scholars that do say like December to January,
like
and others
that's
say
likely.
April. So it's like, but honestly, like when the early church fathers were like trying to come up with a day, they were like, okay, so we don't know the exact day of Christ's birth, but we have this area that we think that he was born in, so let's pick this day that people already celebrate a holiday, so we can astroturf Christmas onto it.
Exactly. That's exactly
It's a
what they
pagan
did.
holiday, yeah.
No, it's not a pagan holiday, but we took
some
over
of the
the day.
traditions are no. This is what was great about Christianity. How Christianity was able to like steal from so many pagan traditions, but like and make it their own completely. Because I mean, it just goes to show, like, I mean, it's a universal religion, so it's able to accommodate certain things. I think that's kind of like that's just it's a sign of Christianity as a belief system. It's a sign of its strong immune system.
This is from Gallup. Again, this is from 2010. A lot has changed since then. It says Christmas strongly religious for half in the U.S. who celebrate it. 95% of Americans celebrate Christmas, and of these, 51% describe the holiday as strongly religious for them, continuing an upward trend since 1989. So it went up for a time. The religious aspect was respected.
I mean, it's not. It's still. It could
The question
still be
is,
better.
can any of them explain? Can any of them explain what its significance is? That's the difference.
Okay. So actually,
how is there a
it
war
gets
on
into,
Christmas? So how is there a war on Christmas then?
Okay.
Also that, yeah. If they at least claim that they think it's religious, then I guess you could say there's no war on Christmas.
I mean, it's not about the war of Christmas. It's about the commodification and consumerization of Christmas. That's the real issue. Because like
yeah.
the capitalist class are never going to attack Christmas and try to get rid of it because they can use it to their advantage.
Yeah.
Okay, so according to this
Fascinating.
poll, it
Cutting edge
says,
analysis.
hold on.
Never thought of it that way.
Christmas traditions your family does based on how strongly religious Christmas is for you, based on those who celebrate Christmas. 98% of those who are strongly religious say they take time to reflect on the birth of Christ. 82% of those who are somewhat religious.
What does that mean?
Reflect.
Yeah, it's like
no. So when they
also-
say reflect on the birth of Christ, that could be like Republicans shit posting on Facebook.
True, but this is from
Yep.
2000 and yeah. I
I'm
forgot.
sorry, I just got that. I was like, Republicans. Oh yeah.
But it says 31% of those who are not too religious reflect on it. So some of the more secular people in America do reflect on it, but there's a tiny minority. And it seems, I don't know what recent surveys show, but I think America's becoming less and less religious.
No, really?
Oh, I can't
Really?
believe this.
You think so?
I read a book about this issue, and it says the opposite.
The 2014 survey reported that 21% of Americans had no religion, with 3% of them being atheist, 5% agnostic. So most people are irreligious, but they're not atheists or agnostics either. They're like maybe Christian deists or something.
They're cultural Christians at most.
Yeah.
And
That's kinda what
cultural
I was
Christianity is
until
also
like
toxic.
it's kind of like what I was until like 2 years ago.
When you converted to Anglicanism.
Ugh.
Because listen, you really wanted to be a Catholic, but if you had a bad wife, you really want to divorce her.
I mean, you can also do. I mean, just for a joke.
I
you can also
don't
do the
really believe in divorce, so.
No, Anglicanism is literally Catholicism with divorce. I'm
That is
joking, of
kinda-
course.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Still, I
Yeah.
think
Just for a joke,
we should
on a lot of
limit the
these
number of
guys-
divorces as possible.
On a
No,
lot
the
of
thing
these
is, I'm
guys
fine with
that are
gay.
in
I'm
this
fine
poll-
with gay. I'm fine with gay people. So like, and I like C.S. Lewis. So
I don't know, Ray, you live in Britain. Don't you believe the Church of England has become more liberal over the years?
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't be in a position to judge whether it was or wasn't, though. But sure.
Fair
I
enough.
mean,
But what
I
were you
can
saying
ima- I
before?
mean, I can imagine.
we know Ray's a Shinto, so.
So
how can I
Ray,
put this?
do you go to KFC on Christmas then?
Look, ordinarily, I'll touch on that one. Ordinarily, I would actually be totally okay with having stuff from KFC delivered to my house at that time, but I think we can't do it now because obviously the virus would prevent that from occurring.
Wait, do they have KFC in Britain?
Yeah.
I was talking about Japan.
KFC is
It's a
global.
joke that
But yeah, it's the joke is that it's the Japanese people.
Japan? Is it? Don't they
joke
think
is
it's like they think it's an American tradition to have
Indeed, they
KFC?
do. So they've actually created a whole separate tradition, which is actually not connected to anything on planet Earth, because they have decided that Christmas actually means KFC for some bizarre reason. Bear in mind, Christmas is not a public holiday in Japan, and it is not actually celebrated as an official holiday. So it's effectively become KFC Day, and there's like a mythology around it as well. That apparently there was a statue of Colonel Sanders who may be coexistent with Santa Claus in some bizarre way, like the two figures overlap each other. So capitalism has managed to make Colonel Sanders also be a manifestation
what were
of
you
the
trying to
spirit of
say
Santa
before?
Claus. And so what has happened is that there was a theory, a mythology about a statue of Colonel Sanders that actually fell into a river that I can't remember which river it was, one year, which was probably within living memory. Actually, that's how recent this tradition quote unquote is. And when the statue of Colonel Sanders fell into the river, somehow the spirit of Colonel Sanders began to haunt the area, and you can have like a metaphysical encounter with him if you go there.
Dude, I should have. When I went to go pick up my eggnog this afternoon, I stopped at the local Japanese restaurant, Samurai Sushi, for some hot sake because that's what I like to do because they have good hot sake. I should have asked them about about the KFC thing because I forgot that. It would be interesting to hear like actual like Japanese people talking about it because like the place is decked out for Christmas and it's like I don't know. I've just noticed Asian restaurants love decorating for Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Bear in mind, whereas I'm willing to do the sort of self-deprecating informant thing on this one, they might actually dodge the question if you ask them about it because they will probably recognize that it's completely whack and they won't want to tell you.
Well, Ray, what were you trying to say before?
Oh yeah. I was gonna say before that one fun test you can do on a lot of these people who like to put on the poll that I'm reflecting on the meaning of the birth of the Savior on Christmas. Totally believe me when I say that, right? Simply like I don't know, do something like ask them to explain it. Like theologically, like what does that even mean?
To be fair, I think it also mentions. To be fair,
not even most Christians these days would be able to do that.
Which is really sad.
To be fair, I think it also mentions on the poll. I have to reopen it. I think it mentions on the poll church attendance as well, and that could be a way of showing that you're reflecting on Jesus. Because obviously, if you go to like a church event on Christmas, they're more than likely 99.999% of the time. They're going to talk about the birth of Jesus and how Christmas is about that. So they could be referring to that.
But they would need to give an answer for it to actually be valid and pass. They would need to give an answer that's not the cute baby was being persecuted by Herod. That's not an answer. Another one.
And that never happened, by the way. The most historians believe that the idea that King Herod like literally killed every baby below the age of 2 never happened.
Yeah, I mean that's probably an exaggeration, but still, that would even if they did supply that, even with that context, that would be not the correct quote.
I think the reason that was like in the is I think that was only in one of the Gospels. The reason it was in that particular gospel is because that was the gospel that was written specifically for the Jews. And it was supposed to harken back to the Pharaoh.
To the Pharaoh comparison.
Yeah, no, because that's what they did. They tried to like use rhetoric that appealed to each of these individual groups that they were writing to. So
the other thing which they should not do is they shouldn't also, because it would also be a quote incorrect answer if they were to respond. He was a good guy who was bringing moral values that our civilization should abide by. That's not an answer because you could say that about any individual, right? The correct answer, in my opinion, and people can disagree with me if I'm wrong here, but the correct answer is that they would need to cite something which is possible to line up with the content of the latter part of Hebrews chapter 7. Which I'm going to read because why not, right? So I'm going to read from verse 20 to 26. This is not church, but I'm just going to do it. So this is what I would think would be the correct answer, in that they would actually understand what they're talking about, and then they'd be able to validly say, okay, I think I'm understanding why this Jesus business is actually important for Christianity. So, quote, no, this is from 18 to 26, but... No, sorry, 15 to 26, it's getting longer, 10 verses. So, right. And so whoever the author here is writing, this becomes, and I'm reading from English Standard Version, so it's going to be phrased a bit weird, but probably easier. Okay, this becomes more evident when another priest arises in the likeness of Melchizedek, who has become a priest not on the basis of a legal requirement concerning bodily descent, but by the power of an indestructible life, for it is witnessed of him, you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. For on the other hand, a former commandment is set aside because of its weakness and uselessness, for the law made nothing perfect, but on the other hand, a better hope is introduced through which we draw near to God, and it is not without an oath. For those who formerly became priests were made such without an oath, but this one was made a priest with an oath by the one who said to him, the Lord has sworn and will not change his mind, you are a priest forever. This makes Jesus the guarantor of a better covenant. The former priests were many in number because they were prevented by death from continuing in office, but he holds his priesthood permanently because he continues forever. Consequently, he is able to save to the uttermost those who draw near to God through him, because he always lives to make intercession for them. For it was indeed fitting that we should have a high priest, holy, innocent, unstained, separated from sinners, and exalted above the heavens. He has no need, like the former high priest, to offer sacrifices daily, first for his own sins and then for those of the people, since he did this once and for all when he offered up himself. For the law appoints men in their weakness as high priests, but the word of the oath, which came later than the law, appoints a son who has been made perfect forever. That's the correct answer, right? Do we all
I
agree?
mean, that's one of them, yes. I mean, it depends also on who you ask. If you're going to ask a Protestant, you should ask them for like the actual like biblical recording. If you ask a Catholic, ask them about like the meaning of Advent, the meaning of the actually
I see Henry
the
in
meaning
the
of Advent.
chat.
Hold on. Let me check.
Yeah, Henry's in the side chat.
Yeah. I see him.
Hey, Henry, what's up?
But basically, you are saying that every quote correct response should be some variation on that, right?
I'm saying that is a definite answer. I mean, you can also quote the Gospels that refer to Christ's birth. You can refer to the Catholic catechisms. You can refer to a lot of different things. But a theological answer in itself about Christmas I would agree is a sufficient answer to question these people on.
Okay.
Because like honestly, like if you ask a Catholic, it's like, okay, yeah, we honestly don't memorize scripture because that's not our place. That's the place of the priests and the monks. Our job is to be devotional, offer up our tithe to the church
Oh
to
yeah.
spread
I'm
the
not.
message.
Yeah, I'm not saying you should expect them to quote it back to you because obviously I just read it off a screen, so no one's gonna be able to do that, right?
Shit, that's why you guys aren't as annoying because you guys aren't all. I just realized something. Yeah, Catholics don't go up and preach in your face.
Yeah, it's like
But I'm saying that the person should be able to summarize the content there, which is that this particular individual that they're saying is the Son of God. The reason why they're saying that, and the reason why they're saying he has these particular powers, is because he carries out what was previously referred to as a priest function, and he's able to do this in a special way because he doesn't die.
I mean, also, like, if you're going to ask, like, a Catholic or Orthodox, then we'd also refer to Christ as both king and priest because he was the only person to hold both positions. But that's a whole nother discussion in itself. Well, what else was I going to say? Well, what else was I going to say?
Would that
oh yeah,
play into the symbolism that you see on the Catholic coat of arms, if I can actually call it a coat of arms, where there's the two keys and one of them is the temporal one and the other one is the spiritual one, and you all would be saying that he holds both of these. Is that the idea?
Yep. And then when Christ died, the authorities were split, and the papacy inherited the spiritual, and the emperor inherited the temporal.
Temporal one.
So that's why it was also give Caesar unto Caesar later on in the Gospels, was to set up the position of emperor as being important as well in the Christian world.
I love how socialists like to appropriate that verse and say it's about Jesus saying that you need to like give the state your money.
Wait, which verse? Are you talking about the one of the which one?
Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
Oh yeah. My favorite verse though is the one, and I'll find it. I'll read aloud my favorite verse in the Bible.
Yeah, I think that people who are not intending to have verses do particular things shouldn't invoke them. So, for example, when Democrats, who may not even believe in the thing they're talking about, begin to quote the first part of that verse, they're not taking into account the fact that the second part of that verse is going to harm them significantly.
Well, it's kind of like,
oh yeah,
it's kind of like
the second part of the
Republicans.
verse is render to God what is the gods.
Yeah. No. Honestly, but the people have used that as a defense of like separation of church and state, which is not a terrible interpretation. It's not what they meant. It's not what was meant by it. But like, I mean, you could at least make a tangible argument based around that.
You can make an argument, but the Catholic Church settled that back at the Council of Trent and was like, no, that it's not a means of separating church and state. They work together.
Okay, guys, listen to this. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, Verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter the kingdom of heaven. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter.
Okay, I'm going to debunk this right now. Okay,
what did that mean?
So
rich people go to hell, basically.
Well,
so
okay,
okay. So I had an econ professor I had this past semester, greatest lecturer I've ever had. He was actually talking about this. We were talking about like sort of like economics and like religion and stuff. And so he's talking about when Jesus was talking about that, you can't really apply that verse to modern day in a lot of ways because, like for instance, because people who make like entrepreneurs who make their money and billionaires these days, how do they make their money? They usually have a service that they provide. Most of the time, like not all the time, but a lot of the time, like self-made. It's from their from their own labor. Whereas back then, how did most rich men make their money?
Slavery.
Exploitation, slavery, conquest.
Of course, but you
There's
can
a big
argue
contextual
that in
difference between the two.
general, basically in general, he's arguing that people who are wealthy because they attain their position through unethical means, basically
That's how
will not
wealthy
enter the
people got
kingdom of
wealthy
God.
back then. Like you couldn't really become wealthy through ethical means until like the past.
Well, but still, I
1,000 years.
mean, do you really believe that
Oh.
the vast majority of billionaires in the United States are well-to-do people who've done nothing wrong?
Yes.
I'm
pretty sure.
I
I'm
wouldn't
pretty
go
sure.
with yes, but I'd say that compared to 2,000 years ago, they
We
probably
all
had
know
to do
George
a lot
Soros could do
less.
no wrong, guys. George Soros.
A lot less up close, kind of like stabbing would have been going on at least.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you mentioned slavery. Do you think
Well-
the CEO? Wait. Do you think the CEO of Nike, who has been caught using literal slave labor, child slave labor in Africa, is not an example of that kind of wealthy man who obtained his position through unethical means?
No,
I mean,
okay,
him,
if you're,
yeah.
If you're saying
Yeah.
like,
So
if
I'm
you're
talking
saying
about
like,
I'm talking about
no,
like
if you're saying
Elon
like
Musk and shit.
CEO, if you okay, first of all, the CEO is like hired. So what? He went to like
Yeah, CEO
he
doesn't
went to
own
like
shit.
he went to like the top business
Yeah, I
school.
mean, you
and,
can
like,
make the argument
cheated.
CEOs are not true capitalists, but my point still
No,
stands.
they're
He's still a
literally
piece of
the
shit.
highest like managers.
They're officer, yeah. No, just like a man. They're part
Yeah,
of the
they're
managerial
like
class.
the top manager.
So who would be who actually is the capitalist? Who's the owner of Nike?
Jeff Bezos.
Well, there's actually
The
would be
shareholders,
principal.
right?
Yes, the shareholders, multiple people.
So wait, so if
But
so,
the
I'm a
managers are
shareholder.
still
So
the
I'm
ones who like wait. So it's still the managers. It's still the upper management who decides, hey, we need to reduce the cost of labor. Let's move some of our costs over to Africa, where they have next to no workers' rights, and basically we can enslave the children there.
You said
I mean, don't
basically.
you think they're
You said
responsible for that?
basically. You said basically enslave the children, but are the children still getting paid? I think they are, aren't they?
Slaves
Oh,
got
no.
paid. I'm
Well,
not sure if
here's
you
the-
were aware of this.
Well, I mean, also here's the thing. I mean,
So it's not actually
unfortunately-
slavery, is what you're saying.
Unfortunately,
Okay,
I don't
can you
think,
own
I don't
someone
think
as
the biblical
property
God
but pay them
himself
for their
was against
labor like an
slavery,
allowance?
unfortunately.
That's how the Roman Empire worked.
Exactly. Listen, you can own someone as property, but like pay them an allowance. So it's like that's not you can basically be a wage slave. In a
Okay, so
literal
there are
sense.
different types of slavery. Okay, yes, and
You're saying that because these children are being paid, even though they're clearly like being held at gunpoint doing the things they do.
yeah, that's obviously bad. But I mean, it doesn't like
It's still
it doesn't,
slavery.
like-
It's still slavery, dude. Just because they're getting paid doesn't mean anything. They're still being treated as
He has a
property.
point.
That's not a good argument, bud. Considering slaves that historically have been paid, they just been paid shit.
Hey, let's just ask Saint Nicholas his opinion about sex slavery, for instance. So, like, yes, the sex slaves were paid, and he absolutely abhorred it and saved up enough money to pay for their release. So he obviously was anti that, and that falls in line with Christmas. So.
I mean, listen, if slaves were not paid, how did slaves buy their freedom in Rome? Because that's how it worked.
How would you feel about? How would you feel about? Do you know what? If they made a movie about Saint Nicholas, do you know what they would probably do? If they went down that route, they would probably make it really cringe and make it so one of the prostitutes became Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, they'd try to like give
God.
a lecture about how sex work is real work, sweaty. Could give that lecture to Saint Nicholas. But no, I don't know. I mean, like the existence of like what is perceived to be unjust labor arrangements in peripheral states doesn't necessarily invalidate capitalism. So yeah, I mean, like even
No, it
like
doesn't. I'm
another
just saying-
famous
I'm just saying
example,
in terms of what Politicrat was describing, of people who are wealthy, who achieve and maintain their wealth through unethical means, including slavery, that can be applicable to several capitalists and CEOs today. I'm not making any sort of actual condemnation. I'm just saying that's the truth of the matter. I do think the CEO of Nike is a piece of shit, but that's just my personal opinion.
I don't know, I don't know. We have to be very careful about these leftoid narratives because, for example,
leftoid?
Yeah,
Well,
leftoid.
I hate Nike for more reasons than just the slave labor in Africa. I also think he sold the United States out to China. But now, let's get back to Christmas.
So, anyways, yeah. So, just in general, you have to like look into these things a bit more because, for example, the people like losing their shit over Coca-Cola allegedly hiring death squads
that was
in Central
bullshit. Yeah,
America
that was
or whatever.
bullshit.
Yeah, the way Coca-Cola works, you know, they franchise out their operations. So Coca-Cola theoretically had like no control over like how management worked in this country. They just franchise like, yes, you can make our product. Here's the ingredient. Here's our ingredients list. Good luck. So Coca-Cola, the company, did not have influence over what their franchisee did.
Oh yeah, with the union busting, like they hired like right-wing militant like death squads. Coca-Cola
Right,
death
yes,
squads
death
was the meme
squads,
back
yes.
then. Yeah, that was bullshit. That's
pretty funny.
That never happened. Now, to be fair,
Well, I mean,
Chiquita
you could
Banana,
argue that they
wait,
should
wait,
actually
wait.
have a level
Chiquita
of
Banana did hire what is considered by the State Department a terrorist organization in Colombia to kill labor union officials. So that's real. But the thing is, Chiquita Banana went to court over it, and they had to pay Uncle Sam a decent amount of money for it. So
Wait,
I
why
mean,
would they
it
have
does.
to pay Uncle Sam as opposed to their victims?
Yeah, they basically had to pay the government a fine for supporting terrorism in Colombia.
No, I mean, you can understand it from a perspective of the not American scenario. American company commits grave crime against humanity and then pays America for their trouble.
I honestly agree with the hypocrisy, despite me being in the U.S. federal government. So, changing topics. Ray, I'm pretty sure you can bounce this off, but the one thing I actually find wholesome from Japanese Christmas is it's essentially the Valentine's Day of Japan. And actually, I think I think that's actually pretty wholesome. Bring couples together and encourage.
Yeah, I mean, it is utilized for that purpose. But I mean, I think the reason it's utilized for that purpose is because I don't think anyone could figure out a way to do anything else with it at that point.
I mean, yeah, but I do think like that's like the one wholesome thing to come out of cringe Japanese Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people who argue that it would have been better to skip it entirely than to have created a kind of weird knockoff of a knockoff of a knockoff. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you on the fact that, I mean, at least someone managed to find a way to create something out of it. Although, maybe I'm being a little too
honestly,
harsh.
the
Because, I mean,
political
think about it
pigpen-
this way. At least it has not been made into a public holiday. It would be full cringe if it had been made into a public holiday that no one believed in. Because then that would be ridiculous. But it's not a public holiday, so...
You have an even bigger flex if there was like some Lu Hongku figure in Japan who based a religion around KFC Day and then plunged Japan into like a decades-long civil war requiring international intervention. That'd be great. That'd be hilarious.
And then the Catholics from Nagasaki rise up.
I have to go soon.
Beyond beam.
I have to go soon.
Wait, you have to go soon?
Yeah, very soon. So I think maybe we should go to like, I don't know if it's going to be the last topic, but I think we should discuss Christmas movies.
Well, yeah, actually, we're going to after we discuss the war on Christmas briefly.
Yeah, but we ended up going to the war on Christmas. Then we went to I forgot the topic that we went on to after that.
Well, I'm
then
assuming
we got
we have about
into
half
the
an hour
commodification
left,
of
right?
Christmas.
Yeah, we're going till midnight. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have like 30 minutes, so we should spend like the last like 30 minutes discussing like our favorite Christmas movies.
One last
Okay,
thing
no, but
before we
Ray and
pivot
I
there,
need to do our annual. There is so not a war on Christmas. ...
One last thing before we pivot to that, by the way, is I wanted to make this point from the beginning that I'd actually almost forgotten to make, which is that we're kind of now at the point, I believe, that all these guys who are hyperventilating about war on Christmas on Fox News and so on, we're now at the point, I think, and people can disagree with me if I'm wrong, but we're actually at the point now where, like, esoteric traditionalists of no particular religion, or, for example, literally people who are part of the New Age movement and so on, are actually like doing Christmas in a more substantial sense than the people on Fox News that are yelling about a war on Christmas are currently doing. Would you agree?
Yep, completely agree. I just see all mainstream conservatives in America as cringe, though, so...
Okay, so we're gonna watch the funniest thing right now. So I could only find a clip from Kyle Kalinske, but this is like legitimately actually like really funny. So hold on a second. Doot. Okay.
Drinking water before bed burns 46 pounds in 2 weeks. If you are struggling to lose weight...
So this was today. Just watch this. Newsmax. This was just now.
Long period where people quit saying Merry Christmas. It was all happy holidays. You deliberately changed that and openly said, Merry Christmas, we're going to say it again.
In fact, it was part of the campaign, Mike. The country had started with this woke, I guess.
What a crowd. You should mute yourself.
And it was...
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my bad.
America had gone through a long period where people quit saying Merry Christmas. It was all happy holidays. You deliberately changed that and openly said, Merry Christmas, we're going to say it again.
In fact, it was part of my campaign, Mike. You know, the country had started with this woke, I guess, a little bit before that.
Yeah.
And it was embarrassing for stores to say Merry Christmas. You'd see these big chains. They want your money, but they don't want to say Merry Christmas. And they'd use reds and they'd use whites and snow, but they wouldn't say Christmas. And when I started campaigning, this was in 2015, when I started campaigning, I said, you're going to say Merry Christmas again. And now people are saying it. Of course, they're not saying a lot of other things like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson. You know, those names are being obliterated because of craziness. But they are saying Merry Christmas again. We got that. That was a big part of what I was doing. And I would say it all the time during that period, that we want them to say Merry Christmas. Don't shop at stores that don't say Merry Christmas. And I'll tell you, we brought it back very quickly.
You really did. And I think a lot of people appreciated that it was a part of the American culture. It was a part of who we are. It wasn't to exclude anybody. It was just simply a celebration of what America does at Christmas.
There's not a single
And
goddamn cross
America and the world, but America loves Christmas.
Yeah.
And whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're Jewish, everyone loves Christmas. And they'd say Merry Christmas until these crazy people came along and they wanted to stop it along with everything else. So I was very proud of that, actually. I remember I used to say, we will say Merry Christmas again in front of these massive crowds of people.
Okay, there is one angel. This is incredible.
There's an angel. Wow. It's suddenly Christmas again.
It's extremely Christmas.
I just saw that today for the first time and I laughed my ass off and I was telling my dad about it.
Apparently,
I was
apparently
like,
a Christmas
hey, Dad,
so Christmas.
Hey, Dad. I was like, hey, Dad, did you know Donald Trump's the reason that we could say Merry Christmas again? And so he just looked at me.
No one even stopped saying it in the first place. And additionally, I just love how Donald Trump's conception of bringing back Christmas is bringing back a Christmas that people who don't believe in the divinity of the central deity involved can also participate in.
I think that's Trump's Presbyterian coming out there. Doesn't actually believe.
No, he's not even that anymore. He's remember, he considers himself a born again Christian now because he went with the grift.
Oh my God!
Remember, he came out and he said, "I'm a Bible believing event." He came out as an evangelical right before the election in 2020 because he saw he was starting to lose some of the evangelical vote to Biden.
And also, this plays back into the same thing that I said just before we went to this clip, which was, do you believe that people who are in the New Age movement actually have a greater appreciation for Christmas right now than the people on Fox News? The clip you've literally just played to me demonstrates that. Why? Because Donald Trump just got on screen there and explained that people who don't believe any of the things I just read from Hebrews 7 apply to that particular individual at all can somehow participate in that, but somehow it excludes the people who do believe that stuff is a thing that could have hypothetically happened. Because think about it. Which group of people believe that hierophany is possible? I mean, the only people would be pagan religions and, interestingly, Christianity, right? The people who do not believe that this is possible in any sense whatsoever would be Muslims and people of the Jewish faith. They do not believe this. But Trump is like, oh yes, they can participate. They're literally the only groups of people who are not in on that.
I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't be against, if you're Jewish or Muslim, at least celebrate the cultural aspects. I mean, I'm down for that. If they want to.
So also,
I know people who from Muslim families who celebrate Christmas for the cultural aspect. I mean, not Jews; they celebrate Hanukkah. They have their own thing, but
exactly,
what I mean.
Yeah, they have their own. They have
I
their
know
own
Jews
thing
who
going on.
I know Jews. I have a friend who's Jewish, and he knows most people celebrate Christmas, and so he'll just say Merry Christmas to people because that's just sort of the cultural thing to do. And the thing is, at work, so there is so not a war on Christmas that I have never had anybody at work. I tell people at work Merry Christmas, customers and everything. Nobody has ever gotten offended. They'll say thank you, even if they don't. I mean, if their name is Finkelstein or something, and I see that their name is Finkelstein, I'll say Happy Holidays. These are probably Jewish, but to a typical random person, I'll just be like Merry Christmas, and then if nobody's ever gotten offended.
Exactly, it's almost like this was not an issue until Donald Trump and others decided to make it some kind of issue.
You do know it was Bill O'Reilly who invented this. This is Bill O'Reilly's fault.
So
actually, I can imagine that.
It's Bill O'Reilly's fault.
So also, a thing to point out in that Fox News clip is the aesthetics as well.
There's Newsmax, but basically, Newsmax is the new Fox News.
So, whatever. In still the same commercial, it's when they're hanging up decorations on the Christmas tree, you don't see angels, you don't see crosses, you don't see saints. You see secular symbols. Yeah, you see the American eagle, you see the American flag.
I saw Buzz Lightyear.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's all these secular, materialistic things or things that praise America instead of Christ, and that's another thing.
The one that absolutely blew me away was the hanging of a 5-pointed star within which is contained a coin upon which the seal of the President of the United States is stamped.
Yep.
How is that Christmas? Literally, what?
That's called state worship.
Yep, that's literally Hail Caesar at that point.
You guys are just
guys, it's Christmas themed Caesarism.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna watch one more clip.
Oh, and also, just before you go to that as well, the other irony of them putting a coin with the seal of the President of the United States on it in that particular clip is that the president at that precise moment is actually Joseph Biden and not even Donald Trump. So it's not even the worship of the particular Caesar that these guys happen to like. It's the worship of the incumbent Caesar, the one they don't like.
The incumbent or the incompetent?
The same thing.
So we're not going to talk about Christmas movies? Come on.
No, after one more clip, we're going to discuss that. Then we're talking about Christmas movies.
Okay.
All right, hold on. This one might even be funnier or just more cringe.
Yes, I found. Oh, sorry, something unrelated that I found. Jesus Christ!
Will you guys be able to just forget about all of it and really enjoy the fact that you really are part of the first family? You are the first family. I mean, you've done wonderful things for this country. We now don't have the political correctness that we used to. I mean, people are actually saying Merry Christmas.
You can say Merry Christmas again.
Yes,
Isn't that so nice, Janine?
I love it. I love Christmas trees. I love Santa over here. I mean, how do you feel that your father has done all of that, Eric?
It's incredible. It is nice to say Merry Christmas again, and it is a beautiful thing to celebrate all the holidays with beautiful little kids like this. I mean, this is what America is all about, and this is what the American
Unlike
dream's
any other
all
country
about.
on planet Earth.
This is why we have an incredible country, because we can sit there with the Santa Claus and with beautiful trees and eat ice cream and open presents and love one another, and see little ones grow, and it's the best of this nation, and I'm proud of him for reinvigorating so much of it.
Yep, nothing about Christ.
I mean, even
I
even
wish
look
you
on
used
Kyle
I
Kalinski's
wish you
face
used
is
any other
classic.
source besides Kyle Kalinske, because Kyle sucks.
Well, no, his reaction there is completely valid. Of like, what on earth am I watching? Right?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
no,
but Kyle
but-
sucks. I hate him.
We're not
I
talking
hate
about
him as a
Kyle Kalinske.
person.
I'm just I don't want to. I wasn't trying to watch Kyle Kalinske. I just wanted to find the first clip.
But you could
of
have
that
used a
specific
better
thing.
source.
No, but
That's
we
all
were
I'm
literally
saying.
watching the same clip.
I hate
though.
having to see
I
his
just want to
face.
say, are we supposed to believe that for a second the Trumps like stopped saying Merry Christmas and told each other Happy Holidays until Donald Trump came back around?
Trump
Because
liberated it.
it's like they're saying, it's like, yeah, it's nice to finally say Merry Christmas again. It's like, did you ever stop?
And then you have Janine Pirro, who is perhaps more consistently drunk than anyone I've ever known, including myself, right? Who's there like, I love Christmas, and I love Christmas trees and Santa Claus, and I'm just thinking, surely there is something
Isn't
else
she
you
Jew-
are
isn't
about
she
to
Jewish or
mention.
something?
I have no idea. No, isn't she? No, I thought she was Italian.
Probably. I don't know who I'm thinking of who's Jewish.
But either which
There's
way,
a lot of Jews.
Ivanka's husband is Jewish.
No,
she
no,
was on this-
Ivanka's
on
a
this
Jewish
huge-
convert, I think, too.
No,
Well,
but
yeah,
the
that's
point- the
because
point
her
I was-
husband was Jewish.
Oh, wait, let Ray talk. Let Ray
The
talk.
point I was trying to get to was that she was going on to create this list, and she begins by mentioning Christmas trees and then Santa, and then she just like literally runs out of things to mention. Even though I'm thinking there is some other thing that you're probably forgetting here. And
She was I still think she was self-censoring. Because I think
yeah,
they do
maybe that
want
was what it
that.
was.
They do want to appeal to the. They want to appeal to the non-Christian conservatives too on Fox.
Oh,
and then incredibly, the Trump Jr. I can't remember which one it is. Is that Eric Trump? Probably.
That was Eric. That was the dumb one.
Yeah. And so Eric is like doesn't add anything to what she has said, but recites back to her those same things on the list, but then just adds to it something like children, watching them grow. And it's like, okay, this is what makes America amazing. Okay, so like in all the other countries on planet Earth, there are just no people with children who have families. I mean, this is very similar to the thing I said on Twitter today, that apparently quote unquote conservatives, and I've put like 5 quotation marks on each side of that word conservative there, have got mad with me about, because I pointed out, do I still have it in front of me? Yeah, I pointed out that it was ridiculous and absurd that we're dealing with Americans who are explaining to us that America is fantastic because they're the only country in human history that's had a concept of individual autonomy and families with children, cutting up apples and baking them in a pie, or the consumption of ice cream snacks. Like, are we supposed to believe this? Who believes this?
Honestly, a lot of Americans, unironically, which is sad to see because the intellect of the average American and his observation skills is very lacking.
On that note, speaking of observing things, anyone have any final comments on the war on Christmas, quote unquote, so called, or should we move on to Christmas movies?
Christmas movies.
Yeah, and that should be the last topic because we only have 15 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, Ray, remember what? Okay, so I think we ended last year. I think Ray, you're the only one on this panel who's here last year, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or was
No, I wasn't here.
Oh, Grayson was. That's right, but he's gone now. I don't know where he went. But yeah, no. But we ended by talking about, somebody brought up the worst Christmas movie they've ever seen, which is also based on the worst Christmas song ever, called "The Christmas Shoes." You remember that?
Nope.
No? Okay, let's talk about Christmas movies then. Should we go over the worst Christmas movies?
That Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, where he has to get
Oh,
the gift.
okay, I have one.
That's a classic, though.
So remember that Christian apologist, Kirk Cameron, I think his name is?
Oh, Saving Christmas.
Yes, that movie sucks. It's awful.
Is it about somebody trying to Kirk Cameron? Doesn't he play like a super materialistic guy? He's trying to convince him that
Yes, and he
materialistic
defends the
Christmas is good?
consumerism of Christmas using biblical stories.
Wow.
Aced.
And
Yuck.
he also tries to refute the idea. I use that term loosely. The idea that Christmas is a pagan holiday.
Okay, Home Alone 3, number 22.
Yeah.
Unaccompanied Minors. I think that was like on the ABC channel or something. Noel. 4 Christmases. I'll Be Home for Christmas. Santa Claus Conquers the Martian is a great movie. Christmas Candle. Fred Claus is actually kind of funny. Santa Claus 1985. Tyler Perry's Medea Christmas. Perfect Holiday. Love the Coopers. I don't know what that is. Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. Yeah, no, honestly, the Santa Claus movie should have stopped after the first one. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who said that one earlier?
Me.
Merry Freaking Christmas. Black Christmas. An American Carol. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a parody of A Christmas Carol, but it was also about the 4th of July. And it was making fun of liberals. So, that's Surviving Christmas Mixed Nuts. Deck the Halls. Danny DeVito. Christmas with the Cranks was pretty bad. Does anyone remember Christmas with the Cranks?
Yeah. Yes, I remember watching it a lot because my uncle made me. I hated it.
I remember watching it. It was like a church youth group when I was like, I don't know. This was maybe 2007, 2006. We watched it, and it was like Dan Aykroyd was obsessed with a fucking snowman, and it was creepy.
Yeah.
It was like, who would skip Christmas to go on a cruise? Like, who wants to go on? Like, who would ever want to go on a cruise anyway?
Middle class bourgeoisie.
Wait, the Nutcracker.
I was raised middle class bourgeoisie. We never even bothered going on cruises. There's nothing that it never really appealed to my family.
I'm just saying it falls in the spirit very well of that.
I don't know. Okay, so the Nutcracker 3D is number 1. Oh, Christmas with the Cranks is number 2. Hold on. I'm going to Google the Christmas shoes.
Well, fun fact. Christmas with the Cranks is a movie adaptation of a John Grisham novel.
Wow.
Wait, what? How?
Okay, so the novel is called Christmas with the Cranks, but everything, including the characters, is the same.
Was it any good?
I'm not sure. I haven't read the novel, but John Grisham has written a few decent books. It's not the best, but he's not a bad author.
But he did Christmas with the Cranks.
Yep. The novel itself is called Skipping Christmas.
Huh.
The Philadelphia Inquirer said Grisham may well be the best American storyteller writing today.
You're right. Skipping Christmas.
Chapter 1. The gate was packed with weary travelers, most of them standing and huddled along the walls because the meager atonement of plastic chairs had long since been taken. Every plane that came and went held at least 80 passengers, yet the gate had seats for only a few dozen.
That's funny. I did not know that this was based on a critical response. 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So, should we transition to our favorite Christmas movies?
Well, yeah,
I want to say something about Home Alone. Okay, so Home Alone 1 was good. I actually liked Home Alone 2, but let's be honest, Home Alone 2 is literally Home Alone 1. They just shifted the location to New York City. It's literally the same story.
I don't think I've ever seen Home Alone, either of them, all the way through.
Yeah, I've unfortunately had the pleasure of watching all 5.
Even the newest one that just came out like 2 weeks ago?
No, not that one. I guess there's more. I thought there was only 5.
There's one that just came out called Home Sweet Home Alone on Disney Plus, and it's apparently very awful.
Oh God. So let's not talk about cringe. Let's talk about great Christmas movies now.
Elf?
I mean, you don't think Home Alone was a good movie? I
I
liked
think
it.
the first one was fine.
Fine.
Second one was okay. I
It
liked
was light. No, Home Alone was lightning in a bottle. It's for its time.
So
It's 30 years old, by the way. Came out 30 years ago.
Oh shit! Now
Jesus.
you're making me feel old.
Okay.
Oh, did you see that video? Did you see the AVGN video where they actually got the actor for Kevin on the episode?
No, but I've seen him on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, what were you saying, Kilrun? I apologize. Kilhoon. Sorry. What were you saying?
I was just saying, let's go to our favorite ones. Our favorite Christmas movies. So I'm going to be the old curmudgeon and say
It's a Wonderful Life.
A Christmas Carol, the 1984 one with George C. Scott. That's genuinely my favorite one.
Really, better than 1985 with Bill Murray.
Yeah, I like George C. Scott's performance a lot more.
Scrooged is funny, but I don't think I've ever finished Scrooged. I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through. No, but my favorite, Elf. That's my favorite modern one. Favorite classic, of course, It's a Wonderful Life. Also, A Christmas Story. You know, the one with Ralphie and Randy? You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Have you guys seen that? You guys have seen that one, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ray, are you familiar with that one?
Oh, you mean Wonderful Life?
No, A Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Yeah, that's a family tradition for me.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Okay, I'll play a clip from it. Hopefully we don't get demonetized.
If you do,
Yes,
then
if
just
you're
release it.
monetized.
No, it
No,
depends.
if it gets
No,
demonetized,
it depends on who owns it. You will totally get demonetized if it's owned by anyone of any significance.
Politicrat, are you
if it
actually
does, then all you have
monetized?
to do is
I
just
don't
go
believe
back
you.
and edit it out. Just to
Yeah.
edit out the offending content. So that's pretty easy.
Yeah, this is a
Also, fun fact: when I was a kid, I actually thought the movie was made in like the 70s because they just did such a good job capturing the old days. But actually, it was made in the 1980s, I think.
It was made in 83 and it takes place in 43.
I don't see
Okay,
it.
this is one of my favorite. This is one of the best scenes of
Kid. Oh, ho, ho! Come on! Come on up! Come on up! Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, then what's your name, boy? Hey, kid! Hurry up! The store's closing.
Come on! Listen, we've got a lot of people waiting here, so get going!
What do you want for Christmas, little boy? My mind had gone blank. Frantically, I tried to remember what it was I wanted. I was blowing and blowing it. How about a nice football? Football? What's a football? With unconscious will, my voice squeaked out, football. Hey, get him out of here. A football? Oh no! What was I doing? Wake up, stupid! Wake up!
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Ho, ho, ho.
Wait, I thought this was 1953, not 43.
No, it takes place during World War II. The movie.
Oh.
Ray, have you never
Oh,
seen
right,
that
right.
movie?
I think I might have, but I just don't remember any of it. So I remember that scene though, for
Yeah,
some
no,
reason.
Classic. It's great. I don't know. Honestly, I haven't seen that one in a while. I might watch that one tomorrow. Maybe. Normally, these past few years, I've stayed up all night on Christmas Eve because I just have to wrap present. It's like church and then presents, and then I just never get any sleep. I might just like watch it until the morning, or while I wrap present, watch it or something. I don't know. But yeah. Okay, so wait,
I have a question before we end, because we're gonna end very soon. What do you guys think of the live action version of The Grinch from like the early 2000s? Because that was mixed reviews.
I was never on board with it.
It had mixed reviews. Like some people love it, some people hate it. It's usually never.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't think it was necessary. I mean, Jim Carrey's funny depending on the role.
A good excuse to get plastered to watch it.
A good, yeah. I'd watch it drunk. I would never watch it if I weren't like fucking wasted though.
Or high.
I don't know. I feel like that would be too scary to watch while high.
Well, hey, a bad comedy film turns into a good horror movie. It works.
I have no real opinion.
Have we mentioned Die Hard as a Christmas film?
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Also, Batman Returns, Gremlins.
Oh, right.
What other movies? Oh, you know what also takes place at Christmas time?
Parasite Eve.
I was going to say, do you guys remember Shazam from like 3 years ago, which was a surprisingly good film?
No.
It was the DC movie. Yeah, it took place at Christmas. Spider-Man Far From Home also takes place at Christmas. Did you guys see Spider-Man Far From Home yet?
No.
No, that movie was awesome. Ray, come on, you saw Spider-Man Far From Home, right?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay, I don't know. I feel like you'd be the most likely person in this group to see it.
I mean, I'll probably be the first person in this group to have actually seen it when I eventually do, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Okay, no, I saw it. It was pretty good. But Ray and George never said their favorite Christmas movies.
No, I mean, well, in my case, that would be because I probably don't have one.
Yeah, I don't think I
wouldn't be able to tell you.
Okay, least favorites then.
I don't know. If people say that it's bad, I probably won't watch it. So.
Oh, have you guys ever heard of Santa Inc.?
No.
Oh,
wait. Does anyone remember that movie about someone who had Santa Claus as a brother, and then it turns out Santa, while he's like a big dude in the North Pole, his brother's just like a nobody who's like a fraud. Remember that movie?
Fred Claus with Vince Vaughn, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I don't remember if that movie was well received or not. I watched it when I was
It wasn't well received, but I thought it was funny.
I know what the worst Christmas movie is, and I know only because it's one that goes on a cycle of consistent repeat in the United Kingdom. And it is to the point where every single time I hear about or see anyone talking about or see advertisements saying that this movie is about to air on any channel, I'm just absolutely annoyed by its presence. And that movie is Elf, believe it or not.
You don't like
Elf? And by Elf, I mean Elf, where the cast was Will Ferrell, Zoe Deschanel,
That is the funniest
Ed
one.
Asner, and James Caan.
That's the funniest Christmas movie. What are you talking about?
No. Perhaps it was funny on like the third time, but when you're on time number 298, then it's not funny anymore.
Agreed. I can't watch Elf anymore.
No, the thing is, I love it, but I need to take a few years off.
Exactly, like about 100 of them.
I love that movie, but I just can't. I just need a break from Elf for a good few years. I agree. Like, I like the movie, but I just don't feel like watching it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's almost like I remember a time, perhaps in the deep and distant past, like I'm talking like before the flood, provided that it actually happened. This movie was actually this movie was new, innovative, and deeply funny. And then all time subsequent to that, it was like, what the hell is happening right now?
Yeah. Okay, so very recently, okay, I'm going to show you a trailer. Really bad. So Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman recently released a Netflix, or not Netflix, an HBO Plus Christmas special.
Oh,
That's
God.
really, really bad, and I'm going to show you the trailer. Hold on. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Well, I keep talking about whatever shit you were saying.
Oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I thought Fred Claus was an okay movie. I mean, but
Wasn't
then
bad.
again, I haven't watched
It
it
wasn't
since I was
like
like, I haven't watched it since I was like 13. It's been like 10 years since I've last seen it, so I need to. I should rewatch it and rewatch it.
Hey, you want to know a funny Christmas movie that came out in 2021?
Not Santa Inc.
No, it's called The Capitol Storming because that happened on Christmas Eve for the Orthodox.
Well, no, it happened on Epiphany for us. The 6th.
Yeah, but it's like
Okay.
it's also Christmas Eve for Orthodox, so technically
Okay.
Christmas film.
Okay, so we're gonna. This is the worst. This is like the worst shit ever. Watch this.
When you're a kid, there's only one day a year more special than any other day, and that day is Christmas. And we are the magic behind that day. So let's get these fucking kids some fucking presents!
May I present the hardest working man in Snowbiz? Good golly, he's jolly. Our own Santa Claus!
Hey, Merry Christmas. Whoa. You're on my naughty
I'm
list.
sorry. I forgot to turn off my thing.
We saw that.
Well, you're gonna edit that out, right? Santa Claus!
Hey, Merry Christmas. Whoa. You're on my naughty list.
Good news, sir. More American kids believe in you than they do in vaccines or the Holocaust.
That's great. I mean, disheartening for America, but great for us.
See, it already looks pretty bad. Like that joke could have been funny, but just the delivery was not good.
George laughed at it. He thought it was funny.
Well, because George doesn't believe in vaccines or the Holocaust, so.
Hey, look,
Wow.
trust and verify. Trust but verify. That's all I'm going to say. But no, I don't know if you think this is clearly tailored to urban, liberal, upper middle class audience who I don't know think Marvel movies are the pinnacle of
theme of the
culture.
night.
So
The bourgeois, the theme of the night.
I like the
Yeah,
bourgeois. Thank you for
I'm
your
always
service,
kind of-
bourgeois.
But I'm always kind of put off by this. It's kind of been done to death. I don't know if I don't know if I'm the only person thinking this, but the idea of like turning historical figure X or like mythical figure X into sort of corporate CEO type character escorted in limousine or by fighter jets. How many times has this been done? Like, we already know what they're going to say before they say it, right? And then the person has, like, this HR has to, like, mediate the interactions of this individual with the public and so on. And it's like, okay, we've seen this. In fact, we've probably lived this. Why are we doing this? Like,
No,
am I the
I
only
agree.
person thinking that? Like, Santa
No,
Inc. They
not at
even
all.
named it the obvious.
I mean, yeah.
And then what will be the
guess
central
what
crisis? What will the central crisis of Santa Inc. be? The central crisis of Santa Inc. will be that Santa Claus has lost connection with the people because he's gone too far up his own spreadsheets, basically. This is what it's going to be, right?
Guys, try to guess what Santa Inc. has on Rotten Tomatoes.
10%.
It's got to be a low number.
Oh. That was
Okay,
close.
okay.
4%, no critic score. No, because so I think it was. Oh God, what was it? Okay, so
well, hey,
so God
turns
forbid.
out. So this is just evidence that they are totally dead on about their vaccines and Holocaust joke. Clearly, evidence of that.
So, but yeah, no. So, God forbid. So don't, guys. Just to my audience, don't watch The Quartering. He's not worth watching. But I was watching The Quartering just to see what he had to say about Santa Inc. And so his theory is that basically that movie reviewers are purposefully not wanting to watch it or not wanting to review it because they know it's bad, but they think that they're going to get canceled if they put a bad review on it, which actually kind of makes sense. Because normally something like this, something by Seth Rogen would have to have, like, it's been out for a month, but it doesn't have any reviews yet.
Wait, Seth Rogen is responsible for this?
Yes, Seth Rogen and Sarah Silverman.
What on earth happened to them? Really, both of them are actually responsible. How could they have done this?
I don't know.
I could never imagine that this would come from their minds of all people.
I can believe it from Seth Rogen.
They used to be better. Like, honestly, Sausage Party was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God.
I actually never watched that movie, but
yeah, I haven't watched it either.
I mean, it's not something.
It's
I'd
surprisingly
like
dark,
buy.
actually.
No, it was actually pretty dark.
I think I pirated. I didn't pirate it. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I did get it for free though.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
I got it for free online.
Stop right there, criminal scum. You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
No.
Then pay with your blood.
See, in this country, we protect intellectual property rights with the death penalty. That's how serious we take. That's how serious we take our pharmaceutical company contributions.
Honestly, I was talking with my doctor.
Shot.
I was talking with my doctor earlier today. I had an appointment, and we were basically talking about how the pharmaceutical companies, like the pharmaceutical companies, Big Pharma, basically owns the U.S. government in the same exact way that the drug cartels own the Mexican government.
Wow, based.
So observant.
Like, without the least bit of irony, that's basically what it is.
Boy, Blair, did you see Santa Inc.?
No, I didn't. I've seen trailers and I've seen people shitting on it on YouTube.
On Amazon.
Oh God! And also, you notice that ad, right, with Clifford? I don't know if that movie was necessary. I don't know if making a live-action Clifford the Big Red Dog movie was really necessary.
Okay, how many movies are necessary though?
I mean, listen, there's a difference between, art for art's sake and trying to cash in on like childhood nostalgia. I mean, I don't know. The trailer made me think it was going to be a bad movie.
It is also a matter of animal cruelty. Imagine like what they had to like feed that dog to get it that size, and then they had
honestly, my theory is that Clifford was actually a Soviet experiment
because it's red.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to compensate for Laika.
But yeah. Anyway, is there anything else to talk about?
That's really about it, really.
Wait. The description of this movie also strikes me as absolutely insane. Candy Smalls, the highest-ranking female elf in the North Pole, sets out to become the first woman Santa Claus in the history of Christmas.
First woman.
What?
What?
First woman Santa
No,
Claus.
no, number one, it doesn't
So
work.
it's almost like
She's an
Santa
elf.
Claus has now become. What is Santa Claus now a post, a position that anyone can actually
Yeah,
inherit?
Have you
I
not
guess.
seen have you not seen the Tim Allen Santa Claus movies?
Yeah,
I made full bird Santa.
I guess, but like, how do you have an elf that becomes Santa Claus?
Also, what's funny is apparently one of the jokes is she wants to be the first female Jewish Santa Claus too, because she's a Jew for some reason. The elf.
Okay, I
Jewish elf.
can get that.
I mean, Sarah Silverman's Jewish, though I know. So
she kind of had, although the character kind of had the nose going on that elf model.
Don't be racist.
I mean,
it's just an
how did they
observation,
think-
guys.
No, that's probably part of the reason as to how it got down to 4%, because there's so many accidental, like,
offensive
things that can be happening there in one movie that they probably didn't even intend would happen, but already are happening. Incredible.
Guys, we should watch it after the stream.
Oh, wait. There's one more movie we forgot to discuss.
What?
That 2D animated movie. Maybe you did mention it on the list. I forgot. But that 2D animated movie with Adam Sandler. What was it called?
8 Crazy Nights.
Oh yeah.
Never
Yeah,
seen
that's
it. Don't plan on it.
I've seen it.
I
used to
actually
watch
watched
it
the
when I was a
entire
kid.
thing.
Was it bad?
It didn't bother me, but it's like the humor is juvenile and was clearly an indication that Adam Sandler.
The humor was juvenile.
No, like literally, like one of the scenes, Sandler pushes like this midget who's also voiced by Sandler. He pushes this midget into a portable toilet, kicks it down, and the midget comes climbing out of the portable toilet covered in shit. And then Adam Sandler's actual character freezes the midget with a water hose, and somehow the feces has just enough water to turn the man into an icicle. Like, what? I'm too tired to even describe it. It's so juvenile.
This is dumb.
It's dumb. Listen, that some people believe that is the first Adam Sandler movie where that would be indicative of pretty much every Adam Sandler movie since then. Just complete horse shit. Now, to be fair,
Adam Sandler was great in the 90s. Billy Madison, Chef's Kiss. Great movie.
To be fair, though, the movie where Adam Sandler played as a serious character, like someone with who has
Uncut
PTSD
Gems?
after 9/11, huh?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Uncut Gems.
Yeah, that was a good movie too. I like that movie, but the other movie from like 2008, where he plays as someone who has PTSD after losing his family members in 9/11, that was also a good movie.
I feel like Adam Sandler could be a good actor if he actually he could be a good dramatic actor if he actually started actually acting and not making shitty family comedies.
No. Here's the problem with Adam Sandler. He makes good movies when he doesn't play as himself.
Yes.
When he plays as
that is a great
himself,
way of saying it.
he's not funny. When he plays as an actual other character, he's good at that. He needs to play as characters that are not representations of him as a person. He shouldn't play himself.
I have a question for you guys. So, I never ended up doing the Hollow stream this year, but I need to do it because it's an annual thing. Would you guys be down to do the Hollow stream on the 26th?
What? Say again?
I never did the Hallow stream this year because I couldn't. Partially because number one, I was too tired. Number two, I had class. I had work. And finally, and most importantly, I was drinking with my fraternity. So I couldn't do the Hallow stream. So would you guys like to do the Hallow stream on the 26th? You guys can all come on and we'll just have it as it was supposed to happen.
Yeah, probably. If I'm around, I might be able to make it. Maybe. Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what did you say, Politicrat? I apologize.
Oh my God!
The
I'm-
Hallow stream
for
on
the
the
thir-
Hallow
Hallow
stream on the
stream.
26th.
Yeah, I will be there. I will prepare for that. Hopefully, Grayson comes back with his prepared
Grayson
notes.
wants to come back for the Hallow stream. So, Kilhoon, you doing the Hallow stream?
Sure, if I'm available.
Are we discussing serial killers?
And then yeah, we will. And then also
Awesome.
on the 31st, we have the New Year's stream.
I will come to talk about the Zodiac Killer and maybe John Gacy. We'll see.
Okay.
Serial killers are my specialty. Don't ask why.
I'm technically not too far from where the Unabomber operated.
Unabomber wasn't wrong.
Hey, listen.
on a lot of
The
things.
Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
Agreed.
It may have increased our life expectancy, but it made us emptier.
Yep. Return to feudalism.
No, return
Embrace
to
tradition.
monkey. Return to monkey.
Return to monkey.
Reject modernity. Embrace monkey. I will say this before we go. I will say, primitivists actually have some valid criticisms of modernity. That's all I have to say. That's the hot take.
That's fair. So this New Year's stream, not New Year's stream, this Christmas stream is officially longer than last yeur's.
No, tomorrow's the 31st, so it is a New Year's stream. I'm just kidding.
Fuck, what's going on? No. no, but you know how it was Dick Clark's New Year's Eve party back when Dick Clark was alive? Well, it's the Politicrat. The Politicrat is the official successor to Dick Clark because I said so. All right. Is everybody here good to end the stream here, and we can shit on Santa Inc. We can go watch Santa Inc. and I'll stream it for all of us.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just want to say to everyone who's watching this, happy holidays. Be sure to get drunk off eggnog.
Yeah.
And binge Christmas movies. And also spend time with your family if you have any.
Also, happy holidays is cringe. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Go on a crusade to retake the Holy Land.
Listen, to be fair, Happy Holidays goes back to the 1950s. It's not a woke thing.
That's kind of true.
Still, I'm much older than the 1950s.
Yeah, you're 70 years old.
I'm I should have been born in feudal Europe. I would have been happy.
Would you have lived in the Great? Would you have lived in the Holy Roman Empire under Barbarossa?
Kilhoon, you probably would have died in battle by now, though.
Yes, I probably know that, but you know what? I'd still be happier.
No, Kilhoon. If you lived back then, you probably would have become a bandit after serving as a knight, surviving, and you realize that looting and pillaging is the only thing worth living for, and you just become a bandit.
Or I go up to Prussia and join the Teutonic Order and.
I don't know.
Honestly, I told myself if I lived in the Middle Ages, I would become a priest because that I'd actually succeed best as a priest.
I would become a knight. I honestly would. I would honestly go for
Dude, you're too fat to be a knight. No offense, but you would.
Hey, I'm the only soldier here. You
George,
can't
George, shut up! You're one to talk. You're too fat to be a knight too.
I don't know. I think I'd make it.
No, there were some fat knights back then.
Also,
actually.
this is all cope.
They're actually some of the most well-fed.
This is all cope. Most of us will probably die before we're age 12.
True.
That's not how life expectancy works.
Yeah, no. By the way, I'm the only soldier here, so I get to lay claim to the knight.
That's true. That's true. Okay, but I'd be a priest because that's I legit know that's the path where I would succeed the best.
That makes sense. Or a monk.
Yeah. No. Well, I'd want to be a bishop because yeah, I'd maybe try to be a cardinal or something. I probably wouldn't be able to be, but I'd try to be a bishop at least.
I don't think you'd like going to ecumenical councils in all reality.
Dude, those would be so much fun. Unironically, that sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it depends on the council.
Yeah. The Council of Nicaea would have been fun because then I could watch Santa Claus beat up Armenian, or not Arminius, Arius. All right, everybody. On that note, thank you. Take care. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Saturnalia. Next year, we'll try to do. I was going to try to do it this year, but I couldn't. I was going to try to make this kind of a millennial type thing where I was going to have like a week-long thing with different streams. That didn't work out. But next year I'll try to do I'll try to do like a millennial type thing. But I can't promise that's going to work. But again, anyway, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. See you in a few days for everyone who's watching. Good night.
Ciao.
Oh.
Yep.
All right, I think it's over.
It's over.
See on Discord.